and it could well be that Swansea let Eder leave, although that decision is likely to depend on...
You're with Andy Penders on Red Card Sports Radio.
Welcome everyone, it's nice, what is it? It's Sunday night. How you doing, man? We are live around everywhere. We're streaming on redcardsportsradio.com, streaming on YouTube, on StarHub channel 225, and on the Red Card Live app. Welcome, it's another massive show for you. It's the Sunday show, the Andy Penders show on Red Card Sports Radio. On the way, we review all of the Premier League results for you from last night. We preview the Liverpool-Manchester United game. Got a few Liverpool fans and Manchester United fans from Singapore on the line. We find out where you're watching the game. We also hear from every single Premier League manager as well. Some very special guests on the show. The new papers, Sazali Abdul Aziz tells us what it's like working on a sports desk, the pressure, the highs, the lows, and what it's like to break that exclusive story. Also on the way, Singapore world record holder. Yeah, how's that sound, Nick? Singapore world record holder. Singapore representative. World record holder. Still, you know what I mean? It's Daniel Nobel. He's in the studio, if we can fit him in, because he's massive. We're going to be talking powerlifting, all 2 meters of him. Also on the show, the multi-talented Claire Jedric, as we talk motor racing, fitness, and just generally about being a superstar, right? She's got the whole package. We also give you the chance to win a Samsung mobile phone. Yeah, we do. Intern Joel is in the PCR, while producer Nicholas Lim runs the whole ship. How are you, Nick?
Doing well.
Yeah, part of your duties involves bringing us the very latest sports news.
It is, and we start in football. FIFA presidential candidate Sheikh Salman has dismissed comments made by Jordanian Prince Ali over an agreement between the Asian and African football governing bodies. Prince Ali expressed concern after the AFC and the Football Confederation of Africa penned a memorandum of understanding, which he said could lead to bloc voting during the election. But Sheikh Salman said Prince Ali's comments were inaccurate, adding that the deal has been in the works even before Salman chose to run for president. In the Premier League, Chelsea's Diego Costa has been sent to hospital for scans after suffering an injury in the 3-3 draw with Everton. The Spanish international was taken off in the 80th minute after hurting himself in a challenge with Everton defender Leighton Baines. But the potential absence of Costa could lead Chelsea to dip into the transfer market, although Goose Hiddink will wait for Costa's scans before making a decision. And finally, in tennis, Serbian Viktor Troicki has retained his Sydney International title after beating Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov in the final. Troicki fought back from a set down to win 2-6, 6-1, 7-6. The win is only 29-year-old Troicki's 3rd title in his career.
Thanks, Nick. Nicholas Lim with the latest sports news at the top of the hour. Big show for you tonight, and a big chance for you as well to win a Samsung mobile phone. It's the big Red Card Sports Radio Football Challenge, brought to you by Samsung Sports Flow. We're giving away a mobile phone once a month, right up until the end of the Premier League season. Our challenge for you this week, or this month rather, is to give us a unique, bespoke football chant. Okay, because we're trying to get some for the S-League players, aren't we? Nick, the best one we still think is Issa Halim and that, but there's been some good ones. Actually, I think Pratap's one was pretty good.
Well, he had a few. Which one would you be talking about? Not the Glory Balestic Culture one. That was a bit rubbish.
That was terrible. Anyway, we've had some good ones, so many thanks for getting involved and giving you a chance to. I think we'll probably get you on the show, basically, if you're going to give us a really good chant. And get involved with Samsung Sports Flow. Go to the Red Card Sports Radio channel there and get yourself involved, and we can give you a brand new top-of-the-range Samsung mobile phone. Right, the transfer window is just open. I mean, it's not even, it's not even a window in the window. It's that open at the moment. So let's get the latest transfer news with Nick.
Yes, West Ham are reportedly eyeing a shock move for Liverpool striker Mario Balotelli. The Hammers are looking for options up front after Andy Carroll was struck with a hamstring injury and are weighing up a £10 million bid for the fiery Italian. Elsewhere, Barcelona are interested in signing Arsenal's Aaron Ramsey and Everton defender John Stones. The combined transfer fee for the pair will likely cost the Spanish giants upwards of £100 million. Meanwhile, despite the looming transfer ban, Real Madrid are still confident of landing Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea. The Los Blancos are so sure of overturning the transfer embargo that they are preparing to bid for De Gea in the summer, which is one of the windows Real would be barred from registering new players should the ban stay in place. And finally, Leicester City could lose star attackers Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy. Mahrez is reportedly a target for Chelsea, while Liverpool see Vardy as a modern-day Ian Rush and could make a £29 million bid for the England star.
Big show for you tonight because we've got some big men in the house. Daniel Nobel is on the way. We've got a big character in Claire Jedric, and continuing that big theme, it's the new paper sports reporter. I've just thought of that, by the way, Sazali. It's Sazali Abdul Aziz. Hi, Sazali.
Hi, it's good to be here.
Yeah, good to see you, bro. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. There's a few things I like to do with you. Because I like to get an understanding of the new paper and the sports desk and how it works. Because I think there'll be some budding journalists watching who think, actually, I'd like to do that. Because it's quite an honoured profession that we're in, right? Meeting all the superstars. And then secondly, we'll just talk, I think, generically about the domestic football here. And then we'll talk generically about the domestic sports scene.
Sure.
And then find out what your plans are for 2016. So give us a flavour of what it's like working at a sports desk at a national newspaper. First of all, how many of you there?
Well, we have 4 full-time reporters, and basically that's it. We're supplemented by a couple of interns here and there. At our peak, I think during the SEA Games, the new paper at least we had a couple of stringers or temp reporters come in, and we sort of hoovered up all the interns from all the other desks, because obviously the SEA Games was the biggest thing, and the new paper was the official paper for the SEA Games. So
it was great coverage.
Yeah, we had to produce I think it was a 16-page pull-out within a pull-out every day. So that was a challenge, but I'm glad to know a lot of people enjoyed it. We've got some good feedback. So yeah, but at the moment, we only have 4.
So who are they? Who's on?
Well,
the desk?
there's obviously myself. There's Shamil Osman, who's who we I suppose was a big name signing from Today paper. I think two and a half years ago or so. With David Lee and Seheng, who like me have been in new paper for just about. Actually, David has been around for I think 6 to 7 years, and Seheng has been around even slightly longer. So I guess we're the old war horses of new paper.
Who's the boss? It's David Narvin. It's Dominic Narvin, is it?
The big boss, the big man of the new paper is Dominic Narden. And then S. Murali is now the deputy editor. He used to be the sports editor, of course. The sports desk is helmed by Lim Han Ming, who has been I think with new paper since I think about 99, 98. So he's risen up the ranks.
Sure.
And Leonard Thomas is an associate editor at new paper, and he sort of does a lot of the day-to-day managing of the reporters and the local stories in new paper.
Okay, so give us a sense of just how hectic it is. When do you go to print?
New paper actually has, if you compare the 3 major English newspapers in Singapore today, the Straits Times and the new paper, I think the new paper has the latest deadline, or industry jargon is off soon. Obviously, it's ours is depending. It could be midnight, could be just after. I think Straits Times is maybe about an hour before, and if I understand correctly, today is a couple of hours earlier. So
are you working right up until that deadline? Are you? Or?
Yeah. Well, this is the it's a bit hard to explain because. If you look at officially our roster sort of shows you start work at 2 p.m. but you never really start work at 2 p.m. If you receive a call from a newsmaker at 9 a.m. you got a press conference in the morning. That's when your day starts, and your day ends pretty much when the page goes. When your story is filed, the page is already set up, laid out, and the page goes. So that's when your job ends. So
What's the mantra for the new paper from a sports perspective? Like a Red Card Sports Radio, we like to pride ourselves on doing anything that engages regional, domestic sports fans, and we like to do it in a kind of irreverent way and a kind of slightly offbeat way. What's the new paper's sort of mantra when it comes to reporting?
Well, I think the new paper the paper as a whole has sort of carved the niche for itself as being sort of like the everyman's paper. It's a very local paper as opposed to very formal newspaper like the Straits Times. So I suppose there's always that slightly offbeat angles that we might have the flexibility to go with. I mean, just to sidetrack, like for example, one of my more memorable stories. It's not a huge story, but it was a match report, and I remember Walid Lunis, who is now retired. He played for who did he play for? He played for Woodlands, and he got sent off. And after the game, Darren Stewart, who was the coach then, he told me, mate, you better check out what Walid has to say. So I waited outside the dressing room, and I don't know if I'm going to get beeped here, but Walid basically just said, I said, hey, bro, why did you get sent off? He said, he grabbed my balls. And I was like, oh, what? He said, that guy, the DPMM striker, he grabbed my balls. And of course I kicked out at him. I'm like, what? I fought so hard to have the headline, he grabbed my balls, but apparently that was too edgy for the new paper. so I think we it was like Walid cries foul or something like that, but it was a hilarious story.
I enjoy, very privileged position to be talking about sport. And you won the best story of the year award in the S League as well. That was good.
Yeah,
but, it's pretty cool to go up on stage in front of all those boys and collect that.
I mean, it's obviously it's a great honor, and especially if you look at who the names that have won the award before me, and just your Stanley Hoes, your Jeffrey Lowe's, and the S Gulams and your Jose Raymonds. You feel like you're in exalted company, lah. But I guess it was a bit muted because I think I was shortlisted for 3 years in a row before that, and I didn't win. So it's like, I guess,
who can we compare that to in the footballing world?
Well, I wonder who. But again, like I said, it's always an honor to pick up any sort of individual. There's not many going around for football writers, I suppose, in the region. So I guess it is an honor.
So that story was. What was that story? What was the story? What was the headline?
Oh, the story was, I think it was Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing, that's right.
About Yazid Yassin.
Every year he played in
and it's just, at that point, Indra Sadan had just said, okay, it's over for me. He's going to coach at Home United. Ahmad Latif, wasn't getting a club. So at that point, Yazid was the only guy from the inaugural season of the S League in '96 to be playing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was amazed because I chanced upon a photo of him as a 16-year-old, shaven-headed. He looks like a 16-year-old, and picking up the ball from the back of the net. And I just thought, wow, it's amazing. He went from this, to the veteran he is today. So, I just thought I wanted to tell his story. Yeah,
nice, good story too. Wow. And who was the photographer that got the picture of the year?
Oh, Gavin Fu, yeah.
Okay.
He's he's actually, now that you mentioned, you asking a bit about newspaper industry, turnover rate's not that high in sports and photo because I think Gavin has been around for, again, 5, 6, 7, more than 5 years. So, a lot of us have been around for. We don't realize it, I guess that's what we're doing. We enjoy our job, so
exactly.
We don't realize, oh crap, it's been
exactly. Well, I've been there since '99, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Football crazy, everything.
Yeah.
It's I think every Singaporean knows you, by now. So
yeah,
it's a thing.
We're with the new paper's sports reporter Sazali Abdul Aziz. On the way, a world record holder who resides in Singapore. Daniel Nobel's going to tell us. I think hopefully we can get him in the studio. Is he here, Nick? Dan, good to see you. Plenty to talk about with him as we find out what weighs heavier than him or what weighs less than him. We'll quiz him on that. It should be fun. Hey, Claire Jedric is also here. We've got so much to talk about with her, not least motor racing. Big games in the Premier League tonight, including Liverpool against Manchester United. Live and exclusive on Red Card Sports Radio.
Team news, score flashes, and the best footballing guests. Red Card Sports Radio.
Next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live, Norwich City versus Liverpool from Carrow Road.
And there is a Jedrek again. Oh, what a try that is! A fantastic goal from Johnny Hasin, who almost breaks the back of the net with a volley from 25 yards.
In towards Benteke, it's going to come down.
Liverpool the level! It's Joe Allen! The substitute has done it! Jurgen Klopp runs down the touchline, Jose Mourinho-like, and Liverpool have pinned Arsenal back.
Manchester United versus Southampton from Old Trafford.
Memphis here for United. Shot block. Rooney! Wayne Rooney is back with a hellacious bang from the edge of the area. Goal Manchester United.
And then puts it downfield and it's flicked on by Davis, and Tadic's goal side into the area. He's taken too long to shoot, but eventually he gets the effort away, and it's under Gomez. He got something on it, but it's just squirmed underneath the Brazilian, who's made so many saves this evening.
West Ham United versus Manchester City from Upton Park.
Eder Valencia goes for goal, and what a strike from Eder Valencia! The angle looked almost impossible, and I said with Dimitri Payet off the field, they could have really done with him because you'd fancy him to score from here. They didn't need him. Sanya keeps the ball in play with a swirling ball looking for Aguero! Kun Aguero heads Manchester City into the lead. His first away goal of the season. And is that the goal? That is the turning point in Manchester City's away day nightmares.
Everton versus Swansea City from Goodison Park.
Cleverly in some space for Everton. He will look long for Lukaku. Nods it down. This is Aaron Lennon to strike one. And Aaron Lennon to score against Spurs. The side that he left in the summer. Everton's first real attack of note in the game ends with a fabulous finish from Aaron Lennon. Takes on Casamol, beats him, brilliant goal! Andre Ayew for the 10 men of Swansea! Danced into the penalty area and then sent the ball fizzing across the goalkeeper and into the far corner. It's a stunner from Andre Ayew.
Arsenal versus Chelsea from the Emirates Stadium.
Turns it back into Campbell. Campbell tries to slip it through. Will it fall for Arsenal? It will! Olivier Giroud! And for the first time tonight, the Gunners lead at Anfield in what is turning into an absolute classic. Here's Willian. Good cross from the right-hand side, and it's a goal out of nothing. A goal for the replacement. It's Kennedy, the Brazilian, who's got it. His first Premier League goal of the season, his second of the campaign in total.
That's all coming up next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live from Talk Sport.
It's a red card, and he should get 2 red cards. That's got the red card out.
Red Card Sports Radio, the best sports station in Asia.
It's the Andy Penders Show on Red Card Sports Radio. We are with Sazali Abdul Aziz, sports reporter from the New Paper, who's giving us a great insight into what goes on at one of the leading national newspapers in Singapore. On the way, Daniel Nobel, the youngest powerlifter ever to represent Singapore in an international meet. Also on the way, Claire Jedric, TV personality, etc., is on the way. Plus, we'll hear from every single Premier League manager that there is after last night's games, and we'll look forward to Liverpool against Manchester United. Have you interviewed either Claire or Daniel?
No,
Sazali?
not yet.
Okay, I was just going to crib some notes off you.
No. I do. I only do have one once a year when it rolls around in Singapore. So, not so much on Claire and Daniel. No.
We'd love to get your thoughts on. I'd love to get your thoughts on the Singapore S League in just a moment. But just a few quick fire questions for you.
Sure.
Okay. Have you got any haters? Any trolls?
Actually, thankfully not so much.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you annoyed anybody with the report?
When I sort of first got on Twitter, many years ago, it was a bit annoying because every little mistake in the newspaper, I became a complaint department. So my Twitter account, sort of became, hey, this picture is wrong caption, and or hey, this guy didn't play. I'm like, yeah, what do you want me? It's not even my story, you know. If it's my story, fine, you know. But and then after a while, I became HR department because a few people, you know, wanted to apply for internships and jobs via my Twitter, and I redirect them to the right channels and stuff. But yeah, no haters actually. I think the local football community is pretty small, and I would say online at least very tight knit. So everybody pretty much knows everybody, and then there's mutual respect.
What's the best interview you've ever done?
Oof, I would say two. I think the first one was obviously getting to meet Peter Schmeichel, who was is my hero when I was in school. My first email was Saz_Schmeichs. It's to get a chance to meet the big man. It was I was breathless. But yeah, so that was one, Peter Schmeichel, and obviously being a local football fan, Fandi Ahmad, and getting invited into his house, to meet his family, his wife, himself. I was Chinese New Year, I think 2 years ago. He opened up his doors to the newspaper, and we did, a few stories actually from one day, because we were there for a few hours. So humble, so nice. Bloke, yeah, it's amazing. He has no, airs whatsoever. Fantastic guy. So. It was a dream for me to speak to the both of them.
Yeah, I was lucky. I went to the Geylang International friendly match the other day.
Oh yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Yeah, he turned up. So he was at the home.
Yeah, and then the game got cancelled because of rain and stuff. Yeah, so he.
And then he turned up, and AD was there, and just have a chat.
Yeah, he's
awesome. Who's the most famous person you've met?
The sports person, I suppose.
Oh, up to you.
Probably one of the F1 drivers, I guess.
Which one?
Lewis. I mean,
yeah.
I've sort of met and then, sort of asked questions, but, it's not like, hey, hi, he would remember me anytime. But, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm about to, meet Robbie Fowler for a one-on-one interview. It'll be the third time, actually. He's come down quite a lot in the last few years.
So he's here with Jason McAteer.
Yes, he is.
Part of what? Is it called?
It's NTUC Income, actually, this time. Yeah, they have a corporate social responsibility project, and the two Liverpool players are here as part of that. So yeah, I guess I guess you would say ex-Manchester United or Liverpool players.
Right.
That would be.
But from your tweets, and by the way, you've got 595 followers with 3,806 tweets.
I don't know to be proud or embarrassed by those numbers, because.
Well, that's a lot of tweets per person. I mean, you might as well just write them a letter from time to time. Or ring them up. Ring them up. Tell them. What it is you're thinking.
No, well, I'm not a serial tweeter. I go on days without tweeting, sometimes, or even possibly weeks even.
Right. And then you do a few match updates. I see that.
Yeah, just as and when, So and like I said, I guess.
I don't get the one you recently said, which was to the guy who shouted "Welcome to Singapore" after pennant was tackled. Hope you realise you also just quoted Chow Yun Fat.
Chow Yun Fat in Pirates of the Caribbean. He was acting as a Singaporean pirate, and he said "Welcome to Singapore."
Got it. I couldn't.
So I was like, oh, that's Chow Yun Fat's quote.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it takes some understanding, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I missed that. 13th of June, grudgingly digging Kanye's West new song playing here at the SEA Games at Silat. Yes, Kanye West at Silat.
Yeah.
Hashtag fusion.
Yeah. It's, again, like I said, as and when, I'm not a.
What's your best headline ever?
I would like to say he grabbed my balls. And I would like to say Giovanni as well, because at that point Giovanni, the ex-Manchester City player, was touted to join Tampines, sorry, and then but again he got vetoed, so I was a bit disappointed. But okay, this is actually a perfect question for me, because I actually won an award in SPH for headline of the month.
Good.
And that was. I might make you cringe though. It's Masa Masak, which is Felipe Massa. He was at a Shell event, and he was doing some cooking. So instead of masak, which is Malay term for cooking, I suggested Masa. Somehow I'm actually I'm like I just came out with it, no problem at all. But I don't know how they nominated it for headline of the month, and I got the award. So
nice.
So I have to say, since that gave me an award, I would say that's my favourite headline.
Yeah, very nice. I think one of my earlier ones was Jimmy Case was playing for Who was it? I think it might even been Brighton, or he was the manager of Brighton. I just had Jimmy's on the case. It just
yeah,
nice.
No, exactly.
Just nice.
Exactly. We have ongoing contests at office, but a lot of ideas just don't go to print. But
have we had any good ones, Nick? I can't think of you.
Not off the top of my head. I can't think of much right now.
No, just to sort of stick it into my boss Leonard, he came up with probably the worst headline, and I let him know every other day. Apparently he came up with it was Albrecht Niigata, the Japanese team. They won a game, very comfortably. I think it was 3-0 or 4-0 or something. And his headline was sushi and nice. And I'm like, what is sushi and nice? And apparently he said it was a play on pepper and spice. I'm like, what? What on earth? Were you drunk or what's? And he said, F off, it's a great headline. And I'm like,
that went to print though.
That did.
I remember seeing it and thinking,
Sushi,
what is that?
Exactly.
Bennett, come on, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, come on, man. It's like, sushi and nice. Nobody knows what the hell it is.
Any more bad headlines that you can think of?
Oh, tons, but yeah, none right
none that we can call that. You spoke about a high-profile player joining Tampines. Well, that's happened recently, and you're going down to the press conference on Tuesday.
Yeah. There's something else happening on Tuesday, but probably
it can't be bigger than Jermaine Pennant joining the S League.
No, exactly, I know. So I'll be there.
Well, what's happening? There's a deli opening at a cold storage somewhere.
No, it's not. What? I think it's another press conference. It's another sport actually. I think it's track and field. But like I said, no way I'm gonna miss Jermaine Pennant. So official.
You've been covering the S League for a while, right?
Yeah, actually, the first game I covered was in 2006. I think. Yeah,
it's a good day, 10-year anniversary. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I didn't realize
that.
So,
do you get the feeling? And I've asked everyone that's come on this show associated with the sport here. Do you get the feeling that 2016 is the most anticipated year, the year where it actually could all come together, where there'll be some serious support behind the S League, where we get a decent product to watch?
I'd love to say yes, but I guess I just have my reservations over the fans. I guess Singaporeans, as a whole, are just it's hard to get them down to the stadiums.
Why?
I have no idea. This is the.
Well, okay. Well, perhaps they need a decent fare, some decent offering to watch, and they've got that this season.
Oh,
right. They've
yes,
got all the Landstar players coming. Right.
Fair enough. And in fact, I think the last 2 seasons, the race has gone down to the wire. Yeah. I mean, you can't. There's enough drama. There's enough excitement. Well, the football is obviously not Premier League quality, but it's good enough, honestly, to me. If they can, 7,000 of them can come down to watch a Malaysian Super League game, I'm sure it's good enough for them to watch the S League.
Well, that Tampines opening game will be a sellout.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, and I'm predicting it will. But I mean, whether that sort of excitement can carry on. I mean, I hope so. I'm hopeful.
Who's your team?
Unfortunately, I used to be a Tampines supporter because I used to stay in Tampines when I was a boy.
Yeah.
I was school in Tampines. Yeah, talking about that, I remember going down to matches as a primary 4 kid and.
Why would you go as a primary 4 kid? What did your dad took you?
No, I went with my schoolmates.
Right, okay.
Yeah, our school team. The whole school team actually used to go together as a group, a bunch of 10, 11-year-old boys. And it was insane. They had to set up barricades because fans were standing on the track. And then the guy was Roni Wadi Mamsa. I remember. What a name, Roni Wadi Mamsa. He was taking a corner kick a couple of feet away from us. That was because the stands were too packed. So we had to stand on the track. That was probably in '98. Yeah. So I dream of the day the S League returns to that sort of fanfare.
They just took down the stand at the JBS.
Yeah, the stands at the back, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess they didn't get the permit or something like that. But
I think it was just rent, too much rent.
No, apparently, I guess they didn't apply for the permit because they didn't see a need to, I guess.
Right.
But yeah.
But that stadium just looks a bit
But
tiresome now.
It does.
They all do.
It does. Well,
and the Tampines Stadium's coming out though. It's been built, right?
Yeah, it's being built. I think so. Yeah. It's fantastic. But again, going back to your question, I think there will be a fair amount. I mean, probably the greatest amount of interest in the S League since over a decade, probably since the mid 2000s or early 2000s. It's whether the FAS, the clubs, and the athlete can just sustain it, lah.
What's the new paper's view of the FAS? Oh, sorry. What's your view of the FAS?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, the two are very, very different. I'm sorry.
Well, I think the FAS are really trying to do a good job. On the rare occasion I get to speak to Winston Lee, the General Secretary, he is a really intelligent guy. He's a very articulate guy, obviously, smart guy. And when he tells, when you ask, why don't you do this or why don't you do this, he actually has a very legitimate answer and makes you go, okay, I'm the dumb one, But, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's always this lingering feeling they haven't done enough for the sport, But, it's always neither here nor there, because they're trying to do a lot for the sport. They say they're not getting enough money from the government. 10 million pales in comparison to the 100 million our neighbors are getting, for example. So it's tough to criticize them because they're trying to do the sport good, but it's hard not to as well,
With the new paper's sports reporter, Sazali Abdul Aziz, on the way, the youngest powerlifter ever to represent Singapore in an international meet is Daniel Nobel. Also coming up, Claire Jedric. We've got so much to talk about with her. We hear from every single Premier League manager as well. We preview tonight's Liverpool versus Manchester United game. You're a Newcastle fan. I don't know why.
Yes, I am.
I got the feeling you are,
Yes, I am, yeah.
Okay, we can talk Newcastle in a bit because you had a nice win yesterday.
Yes, finally.
Finally. We had Dominic Lau on the show yesterday, who is a Newcastle supporter, who summed you up brilliantly. You are consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the way for the longest time. I guess that's what makes it enjoyable to support.
This is it. That's why I'm a Southampton supporter and a Geylang international supporter as well, Geylang Bole. Let's get the latest sports news now with Nicholas Lim.
Thanks, Andy. We start in football. FIFA presidential candidate Sheikh Salman has dismissed comments made by Jordanian Prince Ali over an agreement between the Asian and African football governing bodies. Prince Ali expressed concern after the AFC and the Football Confederation of Africa panned a memorandum of understanding which he said could lead to block voting during the election. But Sheikh Salman said Prince Ali's comments were inaccurate, adding that the deal has been in the works even before Salman chose to run for president. In the Premier League, Chelsea's Diego Costa has been sent to hospital for scans after suffering an injury in the 3-3 draw with Everton. The Spanish international was taken off in the 80th minute after hurting himself in the challenge with Everton defender Leighton Baines. The potential absence of Costa could lead Chelsea to dip into the transfer market, although Gus Hiddink will wait for Costa's scans before making a decision. And finally, in tennis, Serbian Viktor Troicki has retained his Sydney International title after beating Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov in the final. Troicki fought back from a set down to win 2-6, 6-1, 7-6. The win is only 29-year-old Troicki's third title in his career.
Thanks, Nick. Time now to win a Samsung mobile phone. It's the Big Red Card Sports Radio Football Challenge brought to you by Samsung Sports Flow. We want to give you a mobile phone. Tell us your best football chant. That's all you have to do. To enter, go to the Samsung Sports Flow app, go to the Red Card Sports Radio channel and enter in the sports chat below. Best of luck to you there. We'll be giving away a mobile phone each and every month. The transfer window is... I need to think of a new adjective each time, Nick. What's it doing now?
It's wide open.
It's flapping.
It's flapping in the wind.
All right, the transfer window is flapping. Let's get to Nicholas Lim with the latest.
Well, West Ham are reportedly eyeing a shock move for Liverpool striker Mario Balotelli. The Hammers are looking for options up front after Andy Carroll was struck with a hamstring injury and are weighing up a £10 million bid for the fiery Italian. Elsewhere, Barcelona are interested in Arsenal's Aaron Ramsey and Everton defender John Stones. The combined transfer fee for the pair will likely cost the Spanish giants upwards of £100 million. Meanwhile, despite the looming transfer ban, Real Madrid are still confident of landing Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea. The Los Blancos are so sure of overturning the transfer embargo that they are preparing to bid for De Gea in the summer, which is one of the windows Real would be barred from registering new players should the ban stay in place. And finally, Leicester City could lose star players Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy. Mahrez is reportedly a target for Chelsea, while Liverpool see Vardy as a modern-day Ian Rush and could make a £29 million bid for the England star.
Each time you say modern day Ian Rush, me and Sazali laugh. I don't know why. It just sounds funny. All I think of when you say that is moustache.
Yeah, me too. And we weren't even talking about it. Yeah, we just
Moustache.
For the record, I find that piece of information a little bit ludicrous as well.
Right. So, but you wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote
And
it
you
because
read
it's
it.
in the news. But I just find that they're going after Jamie Vardy for £29 million a little bit ludicrous.
Right.
If that is
I
really
see
true.
what you mean. Okay, not the fact that
Not
you,
the mustache.
Not the
Not
moustache.
no. Although, what would Jamie Vardy look like with a mustache? A Ian Rush mustache, right?
It would absolutely suit him. It would. It would, wouldn't it? Because he's that type of sort of player who would have a moustache. We should do top 10 moustaches in football because there's been some absolute thrillers. We're with Sazali Abdul Aziz, sports reporter for the new paper. On the way, Daniel Nobel tells us what it's like to deadlift gazillions, like world record stuff. Also on the way, Claire Jedric. We hear from every single Premier League manager after last night's games. Come on, you Super Saints. How about that? 3-0, have some of that. Charlie Austin, by the way, is signed for Southampton. £4 million.
no idea why he didn't go to Newcastle. We've been linked with him all summer and throughout the the season, and he signs for half the price. Apparently, it was quoted at 8 or 12 or something, and then suddenly he signs for Southampton for 4. Well,
Nice, huh?
I don't get that. No, it's not nice. Not
It's
nice for us. It's nice for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Just a quick mention about the Asian Super League that's on the agenda in 2017. My issue with it, and I don't think it's going to go ahead, quite frankly, my issue with it is that I'm investing time, passion, money following Geylang International this year, right? Because there's excitement around the league and I want to be part of it. I want a match day experience. I want to get, the clubs have been very responsive at the moment in terms of getting up and close and personal with the players. Everyone seems to be holding hands. We're moving forward in the right direction. And all of a sudden I'm getting told that my Geylang International club that I've been following and supporting and cheering for and making up songs for is going to be a feeder club for something higher and bigger. That's my issue with it. So why should I bother? That's my issue.
Well,
what's your take?
This feeling would be parked under the things FAS could do better. I guess again, like I said, they seem to. Whenever I speak to someone, I suppose who has some sort of influence in FAS, the thing that comes across is they actually genuinely believe the ASL will take Singapore football forward, and that's why they're pushing so hard for it, because they really think this. I mean, they're not. It really doesn't seem like, we want to do it because of the it's a money spinning thing or what. It really seems like they are, which is quite scary, if they seem to be the only ones in Singapore who are certain this is the only way to move Singapore football forward. I don't know why. I don't know what they have seen or they have had visions or something, and they know something we don't. But yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you. I would rather us invest in a local league. I mean,
strong domestic league, boom.
Strong national team. Exactly. It doesn't seem to be rocket science. I mean, there's a reason that phrase was coined. So I would love to see a thriving, booming domestic league. I would love to see, I'll not be too difficult. 3,000 fans at every S League game. It's achievable.
Achievable.
It's achievable, and that would be good enough for us because we're such a small country. 3,000 fans at every S League game, and it would be fantastic. And our league would thrive. And again, I don't know where to go with this really, because
the thing is, everyone we speak to, right, Nick, is so passionate about this, and it leaves you speechless.
Yeah, exactly. Again, and yeah, it does. And again,
not great radio,
like how I tell you, the reason FAS are pushing so hard is that they genuinely do believe this is the way to take Singapore football forward. Which I don't know how they came to that conclusion, but they just have, and it seems nothing is gonna sway their belief in the ASL.
Very bizarre. I mean, FIFA's still to sign off on it.
Exactly, and the way at the AGM Zainuddin was saying, the reason they're taking so long is because this will sort of change, the landscape of football all over the world. The Caribbeans will have their own, Caribbean Super League or whatever lah. And
Karl-Heinz Rummenigge recently said he wants the European Super League. Now, I would be in favour of that because, as a neutral, why wouldn't I want to see Manchester United against Bayern week in, week out, against Real Madrid, against Barcelona, against AC Milan? But then I've had to think about it, right? I've got the Champions League.
Exactly.
I've got the Champions League. Perfect, right? And I want to see Manchester United against some of the lower clubs, against Liverpool, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Arsenal.
Lower clubs?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And coincidentally, Asia has their own Champions League as well.
Absolutely.
And the AFC Cup.
And it's strong.
And it is strong. It is strong. And, whatever, we've not been part of Malaysia for how long, but I'm sure a lot of Singaporeans swelled with pride when JDT won, the AFC Cup. You know, it's like,
that was a funny way to win it, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
fair play to them for. But I mean, Kuwait getting kicked out of the FIFA because of government interference.
Yeah, I mean it's beyond their control, but they did what they had to do, I guess. So. And obviously with Haris Harun being part of that team, it just adds. It's a bonus for Singaporeans. But you can't help but think. Just a decade ago, Home United and Geylang were both in the semi-finals of the AFC Cup.
SAF in Champions League.
SAF were in Champions League. They won. They beat a Chinese team. Even though the fans was starting to dwindle, the clubs was sort of still making progress.
Who are the fans? Who are these people then that don't go? Who are they that we think is out there that should be going to football matches but isn't? Who are and what are they doing?
Or
is football gone in this country? Is it gone? Is it gone?
No, I mean there's like I said, I always have my reservations about the fans because obviously it's a lot. Singaporeans, like a lot of people all over the world, are creatures of convenience. They want to watch quality and they have it on their TV. They can sit comfortably in their chair. They don't want to go down to the stadium, sit on a plastic chair or on a bench or stone bench or whatever, and watch. Admittedly a lower standard of football, but
compared to what? The best league in the world?
Yeah, compared to exactly.
Everything's going to be less than that.
Exactly. But they don't seem to get that, and even now there's considerable amount of interest in the S League, and people sign, obviously Tampines signing Jermaine Pennant, the biggest star the league has seen since 21 years. People are saying, Jermaine Pennant over the hill.
It's not.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
what's wrong with these people?
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
What's wrong with these people?
Exactly. I have no idea. And I wonder where those, like I said, in '98, so many people that there's no place for us in the stands. Yeah. Where have all these people gone?
Well, those people now would have children now who, I'm tipping, would be 10.
Yeah, I get, and they should be the ones.
Why are they not bringing their kids?
Precisely. I have no idea.
What was the mix of that crowd from an ethnicity point of view back in those days?
Actually, it was actually very, very. I guess it was a very representative.
Okay.
Mix. Based on what we obviously normally have in Singapore. There are Chinese uncles, and I resent anyone who says they're only there for betting. Okay, because I do know a lot of. I've seen a lot of regular faces. Who are not betting people. Again, there's obviously.
But everyone bets on the football.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
in any country, that's what you go along to a match.
Yeah.
You have a bet.
Yeah. Well, right? but somehow
you have your pie at half time or your curry puff or your nasi lemak.
They're looked down or you're looked at with disdain in Singapore for some reason. I have no idea why. But yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it leaves you speechless.
What message would you have then for these people?
I haven't thought of that. So
just get down and watch it. I mean,
exactly. Other than just saying, get down and watch it. But the strange thing about these fans also is, I mean, even if they go down for the odd game, I don't think they'll come back. Just because they come and then they already have that mindset, and then they're like, oh, it's hot. The drink costs $2, a cup or something.
How many? So Liverpool, Manchester United tonight.
Yeah.
There's an outside showing at
Clarke Quay,
where
Fowler and McAteer will be.
How many will be there?
I have no idea.
I
would. Yeah, I'm gonna text you later and tell you
I
exactly.
might come down actually.
Oh, okay. You can see.
And then
yourself.
Liverpool, Manchester United legend, all the old guys playing, get 26,000 in the stadium.
20-something thousand.
What's going on there?
That is.
What's going on?
I wasn't one of them because I was not working that day. No intention of going down to watch Liverpool and Manchester United, 40-something players on a day where the sort of the upper tier players were actually playing at, I think it was Old Trafford or Anfield, I think.
Right.
Yeah, where there was another testimonial game or something.
Right. Yeah, there was. There wasn't
Right.
there the David Beckham thing.
Yeah, the one that his son played and stuff like that. It was the same day.
Okay.
So, I mean, sorry to say, what we were getting here was effectively the tier 2
Right.
legends, and somehow 26,000 people turned up, and 500 turned up for an S-League game. I don't understand.
I mean, fair play to the event because that's fair play.
Yep. Well,
But
that's what fans want to see. Obviously, evidently, But I actually enjoyed it when they played futsal.
Yeah, that was good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sundram and Fandi tearing it up.
Yeah. That was brilliant. Do you remember that? When was that?
Yeah, that was 3 years ago actually.
Right.
3 years. Oh,
Brilliant. And even the earlier versions, I remember going to the indoor stadium.
That was, I can understand and I can get behind because it's,
Yeah.
exhibition. It's really nice. But 11 aside, at that pace, it's a bit hard to wrap my head around, I guess.
We're with the New Paper's sports reporter, Sazali Abdul Aziz, who I know has to go in just a moment because he's got some actual work to do. Before we say goodbye to him, let's just remind you that Red Card Sports Radio, the only place to listen to live, exclusive Premier League commentary.
Enter a new generation of sports. Red Card Sports Radio.
Next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live, Norwich City versus Liverpool from Carrow Road.
And there is a Jedrek again. Oh, what a try that is! A fantastic goal from Johnny Hasin, who almost breaks the back of the net with a volley from 25 yards.
In towards Benteke, it's going to come down.
Liverpool are level! It's Joe Allen! The substitute has done it! Jurgen Klopp runs down the touchline, Jose Mourinho-like, and Liverpool have picked Arsenal back!
Manchester United versus Southampton from Old Trafford.
Memphis here for United. Shot block. Rooney! Wayne Rooney is back with a hellacious bang from the edge of the area. Goal Manchester United.
Then puts it downfield and it's flicked on by Davis, and Tadic's goal side into the area. He's taken too long to shoot, but eventually he gets the effort away, and it's under Gomez. He got something on it, but it's just squirmed underneath the Brazilian, who's made so many saves this evening.
West Ham United versus Manchester City from Upton Park.
Eder Valencia goes for goal, and what a strike from Eder Valencia! The angle looked almost impossible, and I said with Dimitri Payet off the field, they could have really done with him because you'd fancy him to score from here. They didn't need him. Sanya keeps the ball in play with a swirling ball looking for Aguero! Kun Aguero heads Manchester City into the lead. His first away goal of the season. And is that the goal? That is the turning point in Manchester City's away day nightmares.
Everton versus Swansea City from Goodison Park.
Cleverly in some space for Everton. He will look long for Lukaku. Nods it down. This is Aaron Lennon to strike one. And Aaron Lennon to score against Spurs. The side that he left in the summer. Everton's first real attack of note in the game ends with a fabulous finish from Aaron Lennon.
Takes on Catamol,
Beats him. Brilliant goal. Andre Ayew for the 10 men of Swansea. Danced into the penalty area and then sent the ball fizzing across the goalkeeper and into the far corner. It's a stunner from Andre Ayew.
Arsenal versus Chelsea from the Emirates Stadium.
Turns it back into Campbell. Campbell tries to slip it through. Will it fall for Arsenal? It will! Olivier Giroud! And for the first time tonight, the Gunners lead at Anfield in what is turning into an absolute classic.
Here's Willian. Good cross from the right-hand side, and it's a goal out of nothing. A goal for the replacement. It's Kennedy, the Brazilian, who's got it. His first Premier League goal of the season, his second of the campaign in total.
That's all coming up next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live from Talk Sport.
You're with Andy Penders on Red Card Sports Radio.
Hi everyone, it's the Andy Penders Show on Red Card Sports Radio. Wherever you're watching, welcome. We've got the new paper's sports reporter, Sazali Abdul Aziz. He has to go soon because he's interviewing some big shots in Robbie Fowler and Jason McAteer. On the way, Daniel Nobel, the youngest powerlifter ever to represent Singapore at an international meet, plus Claire Jedric, TV personality, sports star, motor racing star, the works. And bro, she's even got her own logo for her name. That's when you've made it. That's when you've come up with the likes of Roger Federer, LeBron James, Lionel Messi, David Beckham. They've all got it.
Yeah.
I think you should work on yours, bro.
I'm a long way from being anywhere.
Let's just do it. Anyway, just do it.
So you can replace my byline in the paper,
Yeah,
just
the
my logo. It's like I'm sponsored. But yeah. No.
Because you got a couple of Z's in your name as well. In fact, far too many Z's, I think. It'd be a good Scrabble score, you know. But the A and the P for me, A and the P, could do something really good, like Associated Press, like that.
Yeah, I think they might have something to say.
Yeah,
but
I think. What questions are you going to ask Robbie Fowler and Jason McAteer? Okay, good research, mate. Well done.
No, that depends a lot on I don't know if it's fair to say this, but this basically yesterday they had a courts event yesterday, and they if you realize today there was no mention of Liverpool from them because apparently the organisers were told they won't take any questions about Liverpool, which I thought was really, really strange. So I guess it depends on the organisers. If they tell me no questions about Liverpool, no questions about Liverpool, but it's a bit strange to invite two ex-Liverpool players to.
Sure, I think though we're actually getting on the map in terms of
our news coverage. I would like to think that look on the bright.
I think so because I wrote the Jermaine Pennant story, right?
Yeah. Oh well.
And inside,
that was
big.
L'Equipe also.
I
couldn't read, but I do understand. But I saw Pennant and I was like red card. I'm like, oh okay.
Although they didn't call me Monsieur Penders for breaking me. But so anything they say might get misconstrued and taken back to. But I did see something today that Fowler said he would have considered playing in the S League, which.
Well, that was what he said. When he first sort of came down here after he managed Mongtong. So
right.
So he, I remember my colleague David actually did that story many years ago, where I don't know why at that point. A lot of players were saying they wouldn't mind playing in the S League. Jesper Blomqvist told me he wouldn't mind playing in obviously for those of you a bit young, Jesper Blomqvist is a left winger, used to play for Man United, Swedish international. Yeah, he played for Selangor in an exhibition match, and he said, I wouldn't mind playing in the S League. I'm looking for something new. Sort of gave off the same vibes as what Jermaine has been saying since he's here. But obviously the Blomqvist to the S League, never really came to fruition.
Have you got any other sort of bits and bites like that? Stuff that we don't know? Stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you can give us an insight?
Oh, there's tons. But again, like I said, nothing off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, there's so many stories over the years that, just don't end up reported for one reason or another. Space constraint. You keep it for a couple of days, it's dated, or the newsmaker doesn't want it out, or it's. I mean, if we sit down and chat for 3 hours, a ton of stories will come out. But I'm sorry, I'm all out right now.
Okay, well, good. Best of luck with Jason McAteer and Robbie Fowler. Say hello to him. Well, I know Jason actually, but he's changed his phone number, or he's not replying to my text. I don't know.
Okay.
So I might just doorstop him, just turn up and go.
Pop by.
Because I think he was on the kickoff quiz we did.
Oh.
The sports quiz that we did back with Carlsberg at the time. Just finally, I just want to know what sort of characters are in the game now. I mentioned that I was a Geylang international supporter. New team there, new management there as well, and a big step up for Hasin.
Yeah. Like we were saying earlier, we were speaking to each other privately earlier. Yeah, Hasin is a really funny guy, easygoing guy. I understand he has Noah Lee's former teammate as an assistant at Geylang. I really hope they do well. Obviously, young local coaches, it's always great to see them, do well.
But you interviewed them a few years ago.
Yeah, I interviewed them when they were, in the twilight of their careers. They're veterans at Woodlands, and they're the funniest pair. I literally cried, because they were joking, and I don't even remember what they were joking about, but it's just, they were just making off the cuff comments and stuff like that. And then, we were taking photos. Our veteran photojournalist Chu Chi Hua was saying, do something, funny, carry each other, and then they were just basically saying, what the hell do you want? But it was so funny. I was crying. It was they just have a good chemistry together. And like I said, I hope they really do well. There's another strong character in Geylang, Sharif Samad. It's good to see him back in the S League. He always provides that colour. If not anything else, and he plays. He's one of the few. Him, Alam Shah. A lot of people like to point to their disciplinary records and stuff, but look at them on the pitch. You can see passion. I can't speak highly enough about people who play with passion. It's so nice to see them go all out for the team they're playing for. Sharif is one of them. Yeah, and it's great to see him back. I hope he passes the 2.4 test though. I mean, that's been his big hurdle over the last few years. But yeah,
we should try and pass the test as well. Just to be able to report on it. We should pass some tests.
I did the beep test when I was in secondary.
Yeah, I did one under Steve Darby when he was at
home.
home.
Okay. Oh. What was your level? I did once when I was playing for my school team in secondary 2, secondary 3, and I clocked a 6.1, and I'm like, my whole team clocked less than 10. Wow. One guy clocked 11, and that's it. And we gained a newfound respect.
Just we'll do words per minute. Okay, 300 words per minute, and then you're allowed to write about the S League. Sazali, great to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
No
Appreciate
problem.
It. I know you're going from Penders to Fowler and McAteer now, but
a step down for me. But I have to do it, I guess.
We spoke of Coach Hasin at Geylang International. I was lucky enough to go along to their pre-season friendly, which we won 9-0. And notice the use of we in that sentence, Nick. Geylang Bole. And I was lucky enough to speak to Coach Hasin, who, as Sazali said, is all sort of grown up now. Right, bro, I need to get you out pretty quick.
It's been relatively tough, actually. A lot of obstacles that we are facing, but actually it's been smooth so far. It's been almost 3 weeks. So it's a very short pre-season. Actually, it's only 6 weeks for us to prepare.
And that's why it's been so tough.
The tough part is actually not the training part. Actually, the tough part is actually the logistic part. Because of the pitches not available, it's very difficult for us to plan actually. But anyway, that's the challenge we have for this. Every season is like that, So we have to just give and take in terms of that.
And the other challenge you've got is trying to gel a whole bunch of players who have never played with each other before.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge I have right now. As you know, football is all about team. It's not about individual anymore. Individual won't win your game unless you are Lionel Messi or something like that. That's a very good question. Actually, it's not easy to make them work together as a team. But I think I'm trying my best. So far, it has been excellent. I think the attitude given by the players is brilliant. Yeah.
And what do you do if you go into management for the first time, Hasrin? What do you study? What do you look for? How do you learn?
Basically, for me, learn on site. As this is my first, I can say S League job. I did assist ID before, but it's all hands-on basically. Yeah, I think a lot of the things you have to do it, then you can have the feel. Yeah, that's the most important.
And have you decided upon your management style? Are you the hands-on manager who puts the arm around the shoulder, or are you the disciplinarian?
Okay. I'm more to a management kind of person. Nowadays, football change. You have to manage. You have to manage individual players differently. I'm more of a coach who will talk to a player, but actually, there is always a line to be drawn. Once you cross that line, I think there will be something for them as well. Yeah.
We can't look forward to this S-League season without mentioning Jermaine Pennant.
Obviously,
what a signing. You must be very envious of Tampines Rovers fans.
I think I saw the game, Tampines played against Hougang. I think Jermaine Pennant for me is a player who is still there, at 32 years old. He played simple the other day, but actually you can see that there is a lot of things that he didn't show that day. It is a great signing for Tampines, but it's also good for the league in terms of the exposure. I think right now, with Tampines signed Jermaine Pennant, the whole world will know what is S-League right now. Even though the league have not been that good for the past few years, hopefully all this can hype up the things. Yeah.
Hey, Geylang Bole, boss. Geylang Bole.
Definitely Geylang Bole, yeah.
Hey, thank you for your time, Jedrek. Hope to see a lot more of you, yeah? Thank you.
You're with Andy Penders on Red Card Sports Radio.
It's pretty cool going up to the manager, Nick, or the coach of a team that you support and high pressing him with a Geylang Bole, and he hits you back with a Geylang Bole. How about that?
So that's caught on, has it?
The high press?
Yeah, the high press.
No, I forgot to do it, actually. high press Geylang Bole. That was Hasrin Jalani there, the head coach, the new coach of Geylang International that I caught up with when I went down to the first friendly of the season, which they ran out 9-0 winners. We're at the top of the hour. It's the Andy Penders Show on Red Card Sports Radio. Welcome. That means it's time for the sports news. Here's your producer, Nicholas Lim.
Thanks, Andy. We start with football. FIFA presidential candidate Sheikh Salman has dismissed comments made by Jordanian Prince Ali over an agreement between the Asian and African football governing bodies. Prince Ali expressed concern after the AFC and Football Confederation of Africa panned a memorandum of understanding, which he said could lead to block voting during the election. But Sheikh Salman said Prince Ali's comments were inaccurate, adding that the deal has been in the works even before Salman chose to run for president. In the Premier League, Chelsea's Diego Costa has been sent to hospital for scans after suffering an injury in the 3-3 draw with Everton. The Spanish international was taken off in the 80th minute after hurting himself in a challenge with Everton defender Leighton Baines. The potential absence of Costa could lead Chelsea to dip into the transfer market, although Goose Hiddink will wait for Costa's scans before making a decision. And finally, in tennis, Serbian Viktor Troicki has retained his Sydney International title after beating Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov in the final. Troicki fought back from a set down to win 2-6, 6-1, 7-6. The win is only 29-year-old Troicki's third title in his career.
Now's the chance to give you a mobile phone, courtesy of Samsung Sports Flow. It's the big Red Card Sports Radio football challenge brought to you by Samsung Sports Flow. We want to know your best football chant. Trying to think, what was the Prataps one, Nick? It was really good. Anyway, whatever you've got, go onto the Samsung Sports Flow app and just pen in your favourite chant. Each month we'll be giving away a brand new mobile phone, courtesy of Samsung Sports Flow. Next month, we're still thinking what the challenge will be. Any ideas yet, Nick?
Not yet, but I was thinking maybe we let the fans decide.
They decide their own fate. I love it. The Big Red Card Sports Radio Football Challenge, the longest quiz name ever, is giving away a Samsung Sports Flow. Many thanks to them. The transfer window is ajar. That means there's plenty of activity. Southampton have signed Super Charlie Austin for £4 million. What else has been happening in the transfer back pages, Nick?
Well, it involves Super Mario. West Ham are reportedly eyeing a shock move for Liverpool striker Mario Balotelli. The Hammers are looking for options up front after Andy Carroll was struck with a hamstring injury and are weighing up a £10 million bid for the fiery Italian. Elsewhere, Barcelona are interested in signing Arsenal's Aaron Ramsey and Everton defender John Stones. The combined transfer fee for the pair will likely cost the Spanish giants upwards of £100 million. Meanwhile, despite the looming transfer ban, Real Madrid are still confident of landing Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea. The Los Blancos are so sure of overturning the transfer embargo that they are preparing to bid for De Gea in the summer, which is one of the windows Real would be barred from registering new players should the ban stay in place. And finally, Leicester City could lose star attackers Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy. Mahrez is reportedly a target for Chelsea, while Liverpool see Vardy as a modern-day Ian Rush, moustache and all, and could make a £29 million bid for the England star.
Oh, brilliant. It's the Andy Penders Show on Red Card Sports Radio, wherever you're watching, on the Red Card Live app, on redcardsportsradio.com, on YouTube. Welcome. On the way, Claire Louise Jedric is here, TV personality, sports presenter, every fundraiser, motor racing driver. She does everything. Model, actress. She does everything. We hear from every single Premier League manager there is after last night's games in the English Premier League. How did your team do? We also preview Liverpool against Manchester United. In the studio now, we continue with our very special edition of having very special guests, Singapore sportsmen in the studio. I'm delighted to say we've got the youngest power lifter ever to represent Singapore in an international meet. It's Daniel Nobel. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan. Hi,
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah. I'm good, thanks, right? Hey, welcome. Right. Congratulations first.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're a double gold medalist at the Asia Oceania Powerlifting Championships. Now, I just want to get your reaction when I say this, right? Daniel Nobel, world record holder.
It's surreal. Yeah, I can't believe it. It hasn't sunk in yet.
Have you bought yourself a Guinness Book of World Records book?
No, I'll get the certification soon.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a whole process of how they have to go through some official papers, and then they'll be sent out to me. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting to have a piece of paper with the official signatures and all that on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that is just amazing.
Yeah.
First world record holder we've had in the studio.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I think it'll sink in a bit more once I get the paper. But I mean, crazy experience there. Definitely.
Well, let's talk about that. Can I just start firstly, get the... Just jump to the medal ceremony, because you made the headlines here because you held the Singapore flag up. How did this come about? What's your association with Singapore?
So I've lived in Singapore for about 8 years now. I moved here from Denmark when I was 10 years old. So I pretty much grew up here in Singapore. And so it felt natural for me to hold up the Singapore flag. I'm proud to represent Singapore.
But are you Singaporean?
I'm not Singaporean, but however, I do feel associated with Singapore. I do consider it my home.
Okay, so a bit of national service on the way.
I am currently on a dependence pass, so it's up to my parents who are trying to get the papers or become a PR, so it's out of my reach.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's something you would like to do, and people...
I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with Denmark?
Nothing's wrong with Denmark. I mean, it's just what happened. I mean, my parents came here to work, and so that's.
And what school did you go to?
I went to the Canadian International School.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I just finished the IB diploma, and I'm currently taking a gap year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Which presumably gives you a chance to train more and.
It gives me more time to train. However, I am doing an internship in my gap year, so I'll go to work during the day, and then I train at night.
Okay, before we get back onto that, your schedule now, take us back to this Asia Oceania Powerlifting Championships, because there was a really cool team, and the team that you went with.
Oh, yes.
So who was there? Who did you fly off to? It's Tashkent, right?
I flew to Tashkent, which is in Uzbekistan. I flew with the Powerlifting Singapore team, and some of the guys on the team are Derek Kim, Elena Chu, Christoph Ang, Clinton Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, and they all did well.
They all did really well. I'm really proud of them. Great performance by all of them. Very, very proud to be with those guys. Crazy numbers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good experience.
Can you explain to us what powerlifting is then? Because I'll be honest, I don't really know what it is.
So a lot of people confuse powerlifting with Olympic weightlifting. Powerlifting, you practice 3 disciplines. You practice the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift.
Okay. Can you take us through each of those?
Okay, so the squat, you have the barbell, the metal bar with the weights on the back. You do a squat. You squat down. And you squat down, and it has to be below parallel. So your hips have to be below the knee joint.
Right.
So there's a bit of rules there on how to keep the standard good.
So that's all legs?
It's all legs, a lot of back as well.
Yeah.
So that's the first one you do.
Yeah.
Then you move on to the bench press, which is you lay down on the bench.
Yeah.
You'll have the barbell in your hands. You go down, you touch your chest, and then you wait for a command. They'll say press. You press it back up. They'll say rack, then you put it back in.
Wow.
And
this is a bar or bell? Or
yeah, it's a barbell.
Okay.
It's a barbell. And then after the bench press is the deadlift. And the deadlift is basically picking up the barbell from the ground to lock up and then back down again.
Wow.
And in Olympic weightlifting, you do the clean and jerk and the snatch. So a clean and jerk is where you lift the weight up, you catch it at the shoulder position, and you press it overhead. And the snatch is where you stand, you hold the barbell from the ground, and then one motion overhead. So it's a little bit different. Yeah.
Okay, so what sort of numbers? So hang on, you hold the world record in the deadlift.
In the deadlift, yes.
Okay, and just tell us that story. Just tell us how that came about.
Well, so my athletic background is rugby. So when I was doing my rugby training, I was always doing a lot of barbell movements in the gym. So I started doing deadlifts quite young, when I was about 14. But then I never really took it as serious as I do now. I did a bit of research after my rugby. I stopped playing rugby due to an injury.
What was the injury?
I went on a social trip to Cambodia with a team, and I tore some tendons in my hip, and it really threw me off for a few months. And unfortunately, I didn't make the cut for the national team, under 19s. I was practicing and playing with them for 3 or 4 months.
The Singapore national?
Yeah, the Singapore national team. Yeah, and at the last trial, I did make the cut. And unfortunately, I was injured, so I didn't perform well. Right. It made sense. I mean, it made sense for them not to choose me because I was injured. Anyway, so in my off
You'd be quite a formidable rugby player, I'd imagine.
I was playing second row.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm pretty built. I'm tall, so it's...
You're massive. How tall are you?
Just over 2 meters.
2 meters? That's so cool, man. I wish I was over 2 meters. Okay.
Then, after my rugby injury, I stopped playing rugby. Then I started getting into powerlifting. I did some research myself. I tried to figure it out myself. At the time, I'd been lifting for about three years already, so I had some knowledge. I found this basic powerlifting program, used a bit of common knowledge, and I started training. And then I was like, "Damn, I could be good at this. I'm responding quite well to the training." So I decided saying, "Let's see where this takes me." And then in the gym, I started becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. Then one of my friends was like, "Wow, you have a lot of potential. You should sign up for this competition." And he had previously done a competition as his New Year's resolution. And I said, "Wow, that's really inspirational. Okay, I'll give it a try." Then I did a bit more research, found out about what powerlifting was. Then I signed up for my first competition, which was in April 2015.
Wow.
I went in...
That's last year?
Yeah, last year. What? That's my first competition. Okay. I expected to do quite well based on my training, but I had no idea about all the other competitors or nothing. So I go into the competition. I do pretty well in the squat, the bench, and then the deadlift. I did my first competition. I ended up with 270 kilos. And so after that, I thought, I want to get to that magic number 300. And
the world record at that time then
at the time was 303 kilos.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And actually, the record of 303 was a little bit after, but it was during my researching and finding out about powerlifting. Then I met 2 famous powerlifters in the community, multiple world record holders who've been in the game for years and years.
Who's that?
One guy is Brett Gibbs, and the other guy is Josh Hancock. I met them when they came to Singapore, and we were discussing and talking about lifting and all this. And then they asked me what the world record was in my category, and I said 303. And they asked me, actually, before I met them, I'd done another competition, my second competition, where I did 280 kilos. And so just go forward a bit. When I met these guys, they were like, or Brett Gibbs, the New Zealander, he was like, "You should go after that 303 kilos. Like, you have it in you." And I was like, 303? I'm at 280 now. It took me a while to really see I can do this, right? And so at the time I'd finished school and I was doing my internship and I had a lot more time to train at night. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice to win. I'm gonna nail this, and then got really, really hard into the whole training bit. And all my training leading up to it was so good, and it was amazing. Then I was invited to this competition, and Uzbekistan. And my parents were like, "Why are you going to? You're not gonna go to Uzbekistan?" I'm like, "Mom and Dad, I am gonna do this. I'm gonna break the world record. I need to do this. I have it in me. I can do this." So, after some convincing skills and talking back and forth, I was allowed to go. It worked out. I went to the competition, and I went there for 12 days. It was quite a long time. I had to be there for the opening ceremony, but between the opening ceremony and my competition, because the heavier guys will usually go later on, and there's lots of weight classes, so I had a lot of time waiting. Then on my competition day, I did the squat, I did the bench, and then when I finally got to the deadlift, you get 3 attempts in each lift. So my first one was a light relatively light, 275 kilos. And then on my second attempt, I did a 303.5. So I beat the world record by 0.5 kilos. And I was amazed. It went up really fast. I was quite surprised. And then I decided to do 305 kilos, breaking my old world record on the third attempt. So that's kind of how it all came about.
Wow.
So it had been a goal of mine for quite a while. I mean, I've always had the goal of hitting 300 kilos on the deadlift, but once I talked to the guy, Brett Gibbs, I really wanted to sacrifice everything to win this, and so I did.
Brilliant. We're with Daniel Nobel, the youngest powerlifter ever to represent Singapore at an international meet. What a story that is, Daniel. I mean, it's inspirational for a start, and I love the fact that you have to ask your mum and dad if you can go to Canada. That's just because look at the size of you. You forget what are you 18?
I'm 18.
18 years of age. It's an incredible story. More from Daniel on the way. Also coming up, we've got Claire Louise Jedric in the house, motor racing driver and the works. Also, we'll hear from every single Premier League manager. We'll preview Liverpool against Manchester United. In the meantime, a reminder of all the live and exclusive coverage that's on Red Card Sports Radio.
Enter a new generation of sports. Red Card Sports Radio.
Next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live, Norwich City versus Liverpool from Carrow Road.
And there is a Jedrek again. Oh, what a try that is! A fantastic goal from Johnny Hasin, who almost breaks the back of the net with a volley from 25 yards.
In towards Benteke, it's going to come down.
Yeah! The level! It's Joe Allen! The substitute has done it! Jurgen Klopp runs down the touchline, Jose Mourinho-like, and Liverpool have picked Arsenal back!
Manchester United versus Southampton from Old Trafford.
Memphis here for United. Shot block. Rooney! Wayne Rooney is back with a hellacious bang from the edge of the area. Goal Manchester United.
Then puts it downfield and it's flicked on by Davis, and Tadic is goal side into the area. He's taken too long to shoot, but eventually he gets the effort away, and it's under Gomez. He got something on it, but it's just squirmed underneath the Brazilian, who's made so many saves this evening.
West Ham United versus Manchester City from Upton Park.
Eder Valencia goes for goal, and what a strike from Eder Valencia! The angle looked almost impossible, and I said with Dimitri Payet off the field, they could have really done with him because you'd fancy him to score from here. They didn't need him. Sanya keeps the ball in play with a swirling ball looking for Aguero! Kun Aguero heads Manchester City into the lead. His first away goal of the season. And is that the goal? That is the turning point in Manchester City's away day nightmares.
Everton versus Swansea City from Goodison Park.
Cleverly in some space for Everton. He will look long for Lukaku. Nods it down. This is Aaron Lennon to strike one. And Aaron Lennon to score against Spurs. The side that he left in the summer. Everton's first real attack of note in the game ends with a fabulous finish from Aaron Lennon.
Takes on Catamol,
Beats him. Brilliant goal! Andre Ayew for the 10 men of Swansea. Danced into the penalty area and then sent the ball fizzing across the goalkeeper and into the far corner. It's a stunner from Andre Ayew.
Arsenal versus Chelsea from the Emirates Stadium.
Turns it back into Campbell. Campbell tries to slip it through. Will it fall for Arsenal? It will! Olivier Giroud! And for the first time tonight, the Gunners lead at Anfield in what is turning into an absolute classic.
Here's Willian. Good cross from the right-hand side, and it's a goal out of nothing. A goal for the replacement. It's Kennedy, the Brazilian, who's got it. His first Premier League goal of the season, his second of the campaign in total.
That's all coming up next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live from Talk Sport.
You're with Andy Penders on Red Card Sports Radio.
Love it when that beat drops. It's Sunday night, everyone. It's the Andy Penders Show on Red Card Sports Radio. Welcome. Coming up, Claire Jedric. Got so much to talk to her about. Looking forward to hearing from every single Premier League manager. We preview Liverpool against Manchester United. In the studio now, Daniel Nobel, world record holder, deadlift. Boom. If I'm you, I've got a T-shirt on that says hashtag world record holder.
Oh, no, I couldn't do that.
No, that would be me.
Right.
And if I was out with my friends, I'd be, but yes, do any of you hold a world record though? That's what I'd be doing.
My mum is quite like that. Yeah. She likes to say, he's a world record holder. He's a world record holder. I'm like, Mom, okay, it's okay.
Now, I've seen some of your training videos, right?
Okay.
Now, I think sadly for you, during doing the deadlift, you got to pull a funny face. Is that part of the how much? Like 305 kilograms, right? Yeah. That's like, let's say I'm a hunch. Let's say I'm a hunch. I'm not. I'm more like 90. That's 3 of me, bro.
Yeah.
That's mental numbers. And what numbers are you doing on the squat?
In the competition in Uzbekistan, I did 240. That was a conservative number because I wanted to save myself. I didn't want to get too fried before doing the deadlifts. But in training, I've done more than that.
Yeah. How much?
Well, I mean, I've done the 240 for 3 or 4 or 5 reps. So I'm set up to do possibly 260 kilos. Wow. Yeah.
And then for the bench?
For the bench in training, I've done 155.
Oh, they're mental numbers, bro.
Thank you.
So what sort of injuries could you get? I'm really worried for you because if you're doing that, if your back's
yeah, that's why I think it's very important for new people getting into powerlifting, practice form. Honestly, form is really important to prevent injury. On the deadlift, it's very important to keep your back straight. If you round your back, you're putting so much pressure on your discs, so I don't recommend that at all. Practicing good form is going to help you a lot. It'll prevent a lot of injuries. Yeah.
It's scary though, man. I'm scared for the power because you see some nasty injuries.
Oh yeah, there are some nasty injuries if you go on YouTube and if you type in powerlifting injuries, people dropping insane amount of weights, or they'll do a deadlift and once they put it down, they shout so they have no oxygen and they'll pass out, or people dropping the bar on their chest and everything. Yeah, it gets pretty grim.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you have to look after yourself for longevity in this?
Oh yeah, definitely. In training, I wear knee sleeves on my knees, prevent knee injury, keep my knees healthy.
Look after those knees, bro.
I need to look after my knees. I have not had any problems with through powerlifting so far. If you just wrap yourself with all the equipment that you're allowed to use, then you're gonna be relatively safe.
Big year last year for Singapore powerlifting. You had the SPO 15 Raw World Classics. Asian Para Games. It's an Olympic sport in the Para Games.
Yeah,
right?
bench press is in the Paralympic Games.
Right.
And that was held at Marina Bay Sands.
Oh.
And
did you go down?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, cool.
I did see. And actually, the guy who's in charge of the Singapore Powerlifting Federation,
right,
Seitan, was also helping out with this Paralympic Games. Very inspirational. There's lots of people from all over Asia coming down.
Yeah.
And it was just it was mad. Yeah.
The SEA Games was mad.
The SEA Games was really
the
mad.
Asian Para Games also brilliant.
Yes, very, very well organized as well. Yeah. And crazy venue at Marina Bay Sands at the Expo Hall.
Wow.
Yeah, very nice build up, very professional. Definitely.
Can you take me to those the record breaking lifts?
Okay.
Because we like to get an understanding from the sportsmen and women that come into the studio.
Okay.
Those moments, what's going on, because you're the only person that can tell us what. We look at you and see what you're doing, but internally there's dialogue, there's going on, there's emotion that's going on. So from the moment, so you went straight. Second lift was world record.
Yeah,
right?
second lift.
What was the thinking there? Because you knew you could do it.
I knew I had worked so hard for this, then I was going to give it 110%. I knew I had sacrificed to win. Backstage, I had my music in and all these thoughts going through my head. But then once you step out on platform, all you're thinking about is the lift. You block out everything. The only thing you're thinking about is pulling that bar up, but using technique. So a lot of people, they'll get super psyched up and they'll just go out and do something ridiculous. But the more mature you become with powerlifting, a lot of the top level lifters, they're really thoughtful doing their lifting. They're very calm and smart with their lifting. However, on my world record deadlift, I did get a little bit crazy backstage. Had my music in. I was getting psyched up to do this, and went on the platform, and the audience was going crazy. They were shouting, like, "You go, do this!" Wow. Then it goes quiet for a bit. Then I'm lifting it up, and everyone's shouting. They're shouting. It's crazy atmosphere. And then at the top, I knew I had it. I knew it was a good lift. And then down, and you get lights. So you can get 3 white lights, which means that it's a good lift. And if you get 2 red lights, 1 white, it's not a good lift. It's the judges. They'll press a button, and then the light comes up. Anyway, 3 white lights, and I was so happy. Ran backstage and talked to the coach, Seitan, who was helping me out with my numbers, giving it to the referees and all that. And I couldn't believe it at first, and then I wanted to do more. I immediately knew, like, wow, I could do more than the world record here. So I said, let's put 305 on the bar, and it's going to be a bit of a... It's not going to be as serious as my second lift because I already broke the world record, which was my goal. But I went out there, same mentality, and boom, I broke my own world record. So double joy, I guess.
And the crowd were going crazy?
Everyone's going nuts, yeah.
And there was live coverage of that, I think, on YouTube.
Yeah, there was live coverage on YouTube on that, yeah. So they have a whole live stream set up, yeah.
So when you've announced your second attempt, what were all the competitors saying? Were they raising eyebrows, or were they?
They knew it was a world record attempt, so people were looking out from the backstage. All the coaches, the guys all the other guys I was competing against, their coaches were like looking through the backstage and seeing whether I would get it or not. And however, I was quite far ahead on the deadlifts compared to the other competitors. I think the highest deadlift that was pulled in my division was 240 kilos, and I pulled 305, so there's a bit of a gap there. However, in the squats, I was a little bit behind, but then when we got to the deadlifts, I out-totaled them by quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, but were they happy for you once you've broken the record?
I think it's a bittersweet thing. You're competing against someone, but there's also a lot of friendship. I mean, they're happy that I've done it. They're impressed and whatnot, but it's a little bit bitter feeling not coming first place, I assume.
Right, yeah. But they were high-fiving you.
Oh, yeah, high-fiving you. There was a banquet the same night, so people are getting along, having a good time.
And this is Asia.
This is Asia, Oceania. So It's New Zealand, Australia, and all the other Polynesian, Micronesian islands.
There's some big boys there.
Yep.
Jeez.
One guy came from Niue.
Oh, all right.
Niue, yeah. Competing in my division as well. So people come a long way to compete. And so all of Asia, but it's also Central Asia. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Loads and
loads.
there's
all different types of physiques.
Oh, yes. Because they have different weight categories. Right. You'll have different types of people. So in the lighter weight categories, you'll have shorter guys who are a little bit thinner, and then as the weight goes up, the guys will be a little bit more muscular.
You must be the highest weight.
I am actually, I'm heavyweight, but there's actually super heavyweight, which is 120 plus.
What are you?
I'm under 120,
right.
But when I'm not competing, I weigh about 126 kilos.
Right.
I'm sitting at about 126 kilos right now.
Wow.
But I'll usually cut that weight before the competition.
Wow.
But some of the guys in super heavyweight, there's a guy from the United States who competed as a guest through Australia. In the off, when he's competing, he weighs about 175 kilos.
What?
385 pounds. Yeah.
It's like, so the big show is 200K. The WWE rest.
Oh, right.
Just to put it into perspective, that's my research that I've done on big blokes. Don't type big blokes into Google, by the way. It's not good.
Yeah, but definitely there's some big guys in the super heavyweights. Absolutely mind-boggling. I saw one guy, he squatted 426 kilos.
Say that again.
I saw a guy in the super heavyweights. He squatted 426 kilos.
That's like nearly half a ton.
It's it is. Over 900 pounds. Yeah, 939 pounds or something like that. Yeah.
How do you? When are you competing next? Are you taking? Presumably, there's a world stage for this, not just the Asian. So, what's the next steps there?
So for me, my next competition will be in April, which is a local competition. It's called the Singapore Powerlifting Open. It's kind of like a qualifier for the World Championships, and the World Championships it's gonna be held in a town called Killeen, which is in Texas. It's gonna be early June. So if I qualify at Singapore Powerlifting Open, I'll take it into consideration going to World Championships.
How's it work? How's it funded here for you? Is everything sweet? Like you getting lots of money from Sports SG or whoever?
No, a lot of it, all the competition expenses that I've had to pay is all through myself.
Right.
And Powerlifting Singapore it's growing. However, they do not sponsor athletes. So all the funds, it's all from yourself.
Wow.
You all have to raise them yourself. Yeah.
You must have been approached by potential sponsors.
I've gotten some messages through my Instagram of people.
That's a perfect way to get sponsorship, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow my Instagram so I can get a bit
What's
more
your
followers.
Instagram account?
It's at Dan Nobel, DANNOBEL.
Did well getting that.
Yeah. So I'm just
Dan Nobel, What year were you born?
97.
Mental.
Yeah, born in 97.
That's mental.
So yeah, I post a lot of videos every day of just my training. If people are interested, I do equipment reviews and other things like that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you want your own show?
Who knows? My own podcast.
Well, do your own podcast, and that's another platform that Dan Nobel has got to keep his sponsors happy. I like the product review.
Yeah, I do a bit of product reviews on equipment that I bought myself. I've used some of the weightlifting belts, and then I write a bit of review on what I think about the belt itself, what it does for me, and also including like the customer service, etc., etc.
So actually, when you say product reviews, it's just a belt.
It's a belt.
I'm joking. And maybe a bench.
Maybe a bench press, yeah. But I'll definitely do some more reviews on some shoes that I wear. People constantly ask me, like, what wraps do you use and what's this and that. So I'll probably like share a bit more on my Instagram with that.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah. All right, have a think about that. It's here for you. We'll be very interested. We're with Singapore World. I can't. You're not Singaporean, but Singapore's. How about that? Singapore's Dan Noble. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're with Singapore's Dan Noble, world record holder at the deadlift powerlifting event.
Sure.
Okay. It's half past the hour. More from Dan. Because I want to ask him some questions, whether he thinks he weighs more or less than a baby elephant, that sort of thing, right? It should be fun. We'll also find out a little bit more about his schedule for 2016 and his training technique and any tips that he's got if you want to get into powerlifting, because there's an open coming up, and presumably because it's an open, it's open to everybody, right?
Correct.
Yeah, perfect. In the meantime, let's get to Red Card Sports Radio's producer, Nick Lim, with the latest sports news.
Thanks, Andy. Starting football, FIFA presidential candidate Sheikh Salman has dismissed comments made by Jordanian Prince Ali over an agreement between the Asian and African football governing bodies. Prince Ali expressed concern after the AFC and Football Confederation of Africa penned a memorandum of understanding, which he said could lead to block voting during the election. But Sheikh Salman said Prince Ali's comments were inaccurate, adding that the deal has been in the works even before Salman chose to run for president. In the Premier League, Chelsea's Diego Costa has been sent to hospital for scans after suffering an injury in the 3-3 draw with Everton. The Spanish international was taken off in the 80th minute after hurting himself in a challenge with Everton defender Leighton Baines. The potential absence of Costa could lead Chelsea to dip into the transfer market, although Goose Hitting will wait for Costa's scans before making a decision. And finally, in tennis, Serbian Viktor Troicki has retained his Sydney International title after beating Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov in the final. Troicki fought back from a set down to win 2-6, 6-1, 7-6. The win is only 29-year-old Troicki's third title in his career.
Thanks, Nick. Just a reminder of how you can win a Samsung mobile phone, because we love engaging with you guys, participating with you guys. Get in touch with us at Red Card Sports on Twitter and on Facebook as well, and on Instagram. But the Big Red Card Sports Radio, that's what we're called, isn't it? The word big, Nick, threw me off, all right? The Big Red Card Sports Radio Football Challenge is here, brought to you by Samsung Sports Flow. Tell us your best football chant. That's it. You could stand a chance of winning a top-of-the-range Samsung mobile phone. In the meantime, the transfer window is... I need to write down, Nick, some adjectives.
Yeah.
For ajar, open, that sort of thing. Plenty of transfer gossip at the moment. Nick has done his best to round up the best bits.
Well, West Ham are reportedly eyeing a shock move for Liverpool striker Mario Balotelli, who's on loan at AC Milan right now. The Hammers are looking for options up front after Andy Carroll was struck with a hamstring injury and are weighing up a £10 million bid for the Italian. Also at Barcelona, interested in signing Arsenal's Aaron Ramsey and Everton defender John Stones. The combined transfer fee for the pair will likely cost the Spanish giants upwards of £100 million. Meanwhile, despite the looming transfer ban, Real Madrid are confident of landing Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea. They're so sure of overturning the transfer embargo that they're preparing to bid for the Spaniard in the summer, which is one of the windows Real would be barred from registering new players should the ban stay in place. And finally, Leicester City could lose star attackers Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy. Mahrez is reportedly a target for Chelsea, while Liverpool see Vardy as a modern-day Ian Rush and could make a £29 million bid for the England star.
Nicholas Lynn with the latest transfer news there. On the way, we'll hear from every single Premier League manager after those games last night, in which saw wins for the likes of Manchester City, we actually saw a win for Manchester City at Southampton. Claire Jedric is here. What am I doing?
You didn't warm up, did you? Did the warm up?
No. But Daniel Nobel's here in the meantime, world record holder in the deadlift event, powerlifting. Powerlifting has seen a bit of a gradual rise in Singapore. The first National Open back in 2011, I think, had 13 participants. You had over 100 last year.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's grown a lot.
What sort of characters are in there? Because just to reiterate, the people that went with you to Tashkent.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Tashkent. What's it like?
It's very interesting. I mean, the culture there is very different. I haven't experienced anything like it before. It's a republic, I believe. It's beautiful. Like the inner city is very beautiful. Lots of monuments, lots of history from the Soviet past. But you also notice there's a lot of military around. So whenever you're going like through underpasses, people like the military guys will check your bags and stuff like that. It's interesting. And once you go out of the city, it's not as developed. But there's some really interesting places. I went to a place called the Chor Sur Bazaar. It's a market that's been there since the Silk Road. And so you'll find everything. You'll find fruits. You'll find dried fruits, nuts, meat, anything. Yeah, very impressive. And we did a bus tour. You know, like this. They have a similar one in Singapore, the city bus, the hop on, hop off. Yeah. So that showed some of the national monuments, the radio tower, stuff like that. Besides that, we didn't do too much. Yeah.
Love their football there, by the way.
Oh yeah.
They love it. Yeah. So we had you got Derek Kim,
yes,
Lena Chu, Daniel Noble. That's you.
Yeah.
Christoph Ang.
Yeah.
Benjamin Tan.
Yeah, he didn't actually make it to the trip.
No,
he didn't go. And then we had Clinton Lee.
Okay, yeah. He's under 83.
Under 83 junior.
Right.
And he also won his division.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, the guys from Singapore, they did really well. And it was our first international competition besides Derek Kim. Derek Kim went to World Championships last year in Finland.
Wow.
So he's had a little bit of experience with international competition. So he gave me a lot of advice and tips and things like that.
Talking of advice and tips, is the Singapore Open too close for a person, for example me, to get into it and have a crack at it? What advice would you give someone who wants to get into powerlifting?
Actually, they are working on setting up something like a smaller scale of SPO for newcomers. It's kind of like a very small scale competition held inside a gym, and then that leads up to SPO. But that's for people who are getting new into the sport. Held at the Gym Nation in Feng Shuang Community Center. But I mean, it's open to everybody. When I joined SPO, I didn't have any experience. I just had I bought the right equipment before, signed up through their website, and I went there not knowing what was going to happen.
Are they generally a friendly sort of community as well?
Oh, powerlifting is very friendly. Everyone gets along. I mean, even though you're competing against everybody, I mean, it's such a friendly community. Everyone is so positive and helping, and if you forget something, they'll lend it to you, and yeah, people are really cool. It's a really good community.
How many are you expecting, do you think, this time around?
For SPO? I'm not exactly sure of the numbers, but maybe between 100 to 150 or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You going to try and break some more records, or?
I am currently in the junior division now. Before my last sub-junior competition was the one in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. So now I'm in juniors. It's by calendar year. So in 2016, I'm in junior, and the standards are a little bit higher there. So to break the national records, that's fine. However, the international standards for a junior is a little bit higher, so I'll need a few more years to mature in that. But the local standards they're within reach for sure. Yeah.
Wow. And then we were talking about sort of globally. When's the next big world meet?
It's in Texas.
That's right. Okay.
Yes, in Killeen, Texas, which will be held early June.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the biggest.
Awesome.
That's
you
the
should
big.
Go, bro.
I've considered going, but it will be more for the experience because there'll be most of the juniors are. So juniors is under 23. So a lot of the guys are going to be who set the records are closer to the age cap in juniors.
Right.
But it'll definitely be an insane experience if I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it will be. What sort of? Sorry, it's good radio, isn't it? What sort of attributes do you need to recognise within yourself to say, actually, I'll be quite good at powerlifting? Because you can't just, not something you just sort of pick up. I mean, a lot of people. Look, Joel. Okay, Joel, come here. Right. So here's Joel. Right. I don't know if you can see him. Here's intern Joel. Look at him. Right. 18 years of age, and likes to take care of himself. Right.
Yes.
This is something you'll be fairly interested in, Joel.
Yeah, actually, I do try powerlifting when I'm in the gym. So
really?
Yeah.
Nice.
You should get his autograph.
Yeah, I want to take a photo with him after this.
Sure. I mean, everybody has a different background when it comes to powerlifting. A lot of people start from nothing. They've never stepped foot in the gym before. Some people come from sports, which is my case. And some people do a little bit of like fitness training just to look good. And then they're like, hey, I like lifting heavy weights. I'm going to try this out. The thing is, it's very dependent on the person. So even though you may not be strong to begin with, if you get on the program, if you trust the process, if you find a coach or if you do your own research like I did, find a program. There's tons of information on the internet. All you have to do is put a bit of effort into researching and get on the program. You stick to it and you trust the process, you will improve. A lot of people make it sound like it's a lot more difficult, but if you just follow the program, put in the effort, you're gonna improve. You're gonna get stronger.
Muscles are amazing, eh?
I mean, you will also gain muscle for sure doing all the lifts. A lot of people have associated powerlifters with like all these fat, unfit people, but a lot of times, if you look at especially like the lighter weight classes below super heavyweight, a lot of them they're lean, they're in good shape, and they lift outrageous numbers.
Yeah. Are drugs a problem in the sport?
I compete in the International Powerlifting Federation, which is the biggest governing body of powerlifting in the world. However, there are other federations which are untested. The IPF is underwater Olympic testing. So that one is thoroughly drug tested. However, there are some federations which I would not associate myself with because they're untested. And that's their choice. If they want to do drugs and compete, then they go do their own thing. But I don't compete with people who are using drugs. I mean, it's a personal choice, but I think it's better for the sport. And if powerlifting has to become closer to being an Olympic sport, they need something like the IPF, which is heavily drug tested. It's just the most official federation out there. So there are people who get caught, but they're very good. They catch people. So they're cleaning up the sport. It's relatively clean, yeah.
Are the ones on drugs doing mental numbers then?
You see, there are the people who are on drugs, they perform like they will have higher numbers, but there are so many good lifters who are drug-free who perform so well. So for me, I don't get why people would bother going on drugs and compete in this and that. I think it's just better for the sport to be clean.
Right.
And yeah, so that's just my choice. I would never go on drugs, and it's not something that I've thought about.
We're with Daniel Nobel, who's the world record holder in the deadlift for powerlifting. How much do you hope it becomes an Olympic sport?
A lot.
Right.
A lot. And I know
Is it in the World Games? Is it feature anywhere?
Well, yeah, they have a world championship. So
sure, and I get that, but I covered the World Games, I think in Kaohsiung in 2010, right? And the World Games is all of the sports that can't quite make it into the Olympics. So there was squash, there was some ribbon thing, there was some skydiving.
Yeah.
Anyway, just like
well, I think they kind of stick. They have Commonwealth Championships. They'll have the Asia Oceania World Championships, African European, but I'm not too sure what league that might be, the one you were talking about. But I knew they do have their regional, they do have their continental, and etc.
Are they knocking on the door? Is it close? Is it going to be reviewed? Is it going to be a?
I know people who are working
exhibition?
very hard on trying to make it an Olympic sport, especially the guy who is the foreman of IPF in Singapore, Seitan. Massive props to that guy and Sulhari. They're putting a lot of work trying to make the sport a lot better in Singapore, and also just on a global scale. They're working with the top level executives in the federation, and they're inching closer and closer and closer to being an Olympic sport. So who knows the future of it? I don't know how many years it will take, but it'll get there.
There's two sports to me that always, when you see the Olympics, right, you watch it and you go, actually, this is bloody brilliant. And that is archery.
Archery.
Right? Love a bit of archery. And weightlifting.
Weightlifting.
It's so good. And the crowd, especially at London 2012, right? The Olympics there, the crowd inside, I forget where they were, at some hall or something. The crowd was amazing.
Oh, yeah. People go crazy. It's the same thing with powerlifting. Like, when you see the sport, a lot of the times you only see what's happening on stage. But when you're there, I mean, they do show the audience in some of the clips, but when you're there, the atmosphere is ridiculous. People are fired up and they're so happy for each other, even though they're from different countries and they're competing against each other. People are excited. People make noise and people shout. I mean, it's just such a good community to be a part of. It's very positive, and it's especially when you see on TV when they cover Olympic lifting.
Yeah, brilliant.
People shout and they have their flags up and everything. Can
you take me through your routine, say for the deadlift,
sure.
Right?
Okay.
So, so we walk. So, how important is the chalk?
The chalk. Oh, it's very important for grip.
All right. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So you get plenty of that one.
I use chalk generously. I must say, I do use chalk quite a bit. Yeah. It helps a lot with grip. And it's so humid here in Singapore. If you're training without, you're sweating, your hands get sweaty. You're not gonna have any grip on the bar.
You can't wear gloves then.
No gloves. It's not allowed in competition, and. Also, actually, if you train without gloves, your hands become a little bit rougher. Yeah. So they become a better grip. You'll get a better grip. But yeah, chalk is quite important.
Okay, so I've done my chalk.
Okay. Yeah. You do your chalk. Yeah. You have the weight on the bar, right? So it depends on the person, but a lot of people, they approach the bar, they take a breath up here, and then they'll go sink down into position. They'll grab onto the bar, and then they'll. I'm not all the way down now. I think it will cut off, and they sink down, and then they take the breath. And the purpose of having a belt is so you can push out against it.
Yeah.
So big belly, you push out against you get power from that. Wow, it's something called intra.
Like this, I can feel. I can feel.
Yeah.
The face, right?
You hold your breath and you.
Why hold your breath?
That's to get the intra-abdominal pressure, so that everything in your body is tight. Because if let's say you're not holding your breath, you have all this like loose, weak space here. So you want the tightest position possible, and you do that through holding your breath and squeezing out. So that's why you'll see a lot of funny faces when people deadlift, like bloated, red, and all this. But it's to get the pressure, and it helps a lot. Yeah, that's like part of proper technique.
Yeah, Nick's asking me to ask you, has anybody pooed while they've done it?
Oh yeah, I think so. People have done, they've pooped, shot, everything. It's happened. It hasn't happened to me, but I mean, I've heard of stories. And
is there like a name for it if that happens?
No, not really. People just say, I just crap myself. Yeah. It happens.
I'm not surprised it happened.
It's a lot of pressure. You're pushing, and if you have a weak stomach, I guess, I mean,
Yeah?
Yeah. It actually happened to a guy at the competition in Uzbekistan, but it didn't leak or anything. But he told me backstage, he was like, hey, I sharded, So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Although fairly kind of funny.
It's funny, but I mean, if you're the one who it happens to it, it's not funny.
This is very true.
Yeah.
With world record holder Daniel Nobel. You're a big guy. You're 126 Ks now. So I want to play a game. Do you think this is heavier than you or lighter than you?
Okay. Sure.
Right, so first up, only because you're massive.
Right.
You're massive. Look at you. 6 foot what?
6'7". 6 foot 8. Yeah.
Daniel Nobel. You're 126 kilograms.
Yep.
But what weighs more than you? Does a baby elephant weigh more than you?
No.
No, he does not. 100 kg, we got a baby elephant now.
Okay, good.
A Galapagos tortoise. It's big. Does it weigh more than you?
A bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, but it ain't far off.
Oh, okay.
He's about 110, Nick? Is it we're going with 110?
About 120. So closer to his
So
competition.
Close.
Competition weight.
Doing my competition, I'm actually a bit under 120, 117.
Yeah. There you go. So he was right, in a way. A giant panda. Is that heavier than you or lighter than you?
That's way heavier than me.
No, I've got it down as 100 kg.
Oh, it's because they're so furry. So
Yeah.
they have they look big.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's competition weight.
No.
What? Between no.
He's not heavier than me.
He's not. 107 he goes. He was at
107,
his prime.
yeah.
Yeah. WWE's The Undertaker. Is he heavier than you or lighter than you?
The Undertaker.
Don't tell me you're too young
No,
for The Undertaker.
I know. From the Attitude Era.
That would be mental.
Yeah. Is he heavier than me? Yes.
Yeah, he's 134 kg.
Yeah.
Finally, the latest motorbike from Bologna-based bike builders NCR, the M4 One Shot. Is it heavier than you or lighter than you?
I've no clue how that motorcycle looks like, but it's a motorcycle. Is it a big motorcycle?
It's got a Ducati engine.
Okay.
It's it's a motorbike, right?
It's heavier.
It's not 100. That's my trick one for the day. 120 kg. That.
Oh.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Very good, man. Amazing.
If you're correct, and
yeah, I mean it's not your standard quiz, is it?
No, it's not.
Hey, what's the media attention been like since you've come back to these shores? Because I'm tipping when you went, no one did anyone turn up and say goodbye?
Yeah, well, my parents did.
Yeah, that's nice. But when you came back,
the Straits Times were there at the airport to cover the team story. They took a few photos and then they put a photo of all of us in the papers. It was titled something like "Metal Surge" by Singapore or something like that. Yeah.
That's right.
So that was surreal. And then some of my parents' friends came. So I didn't expect all that turnout, but it was interesting. Yeah. So a photographer, a few journalists, my parents, of course, Sulhari, who's the other vice president of Powerlifting Singapore, and we had some of my parents' friends were there as well, so
awesome.
Pretty nice turnout.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
and then who do you work for now?
I'm working at an advertising agency, a marketing company.
Okay.
It's called TBWA.
Okay.
I'm working in one of their sectors, so that's what I'm doing as my intern. Like I'm interning at the
Sure.
at the company.
What are you working on? You have some accounts?
Actually, I'm working under the French company called Auditoire, which is an events company, events and marketing, brand activation.
Okay.
So we do events for luxury brands, car brands, anything really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah. So we like to see ourselves as quite creative.
Okay, and they were pretty cool when you came back.
Yeah, like the office, they received me quite well. They were like, everyone was like, "Oh, congratulations!" Because one of the bosses here, my boss actually sent out an email to all staff. So about 150 people saw the article on Channel News Asia.
Awesome.
And so people were congratulating me all over, and that was really really nice.
Very good.
Yeah, very very different experience. People just coming up to me, and then also. After my Channel News Asia article, there was a few people who recognized me around, but it was surreal. Yeah, Like, oh, you were that guy from the article. Oh, Daniel Nobel. Oh.
Yeah, sweet, bro.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
All right, well, best of luck in the future. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. No worries.
Yeah, it's been lovely to talk to you.
Thank you.
We're proud that you're flying the Singapore flag.
Awesome.
Dan Nobel there. So if you want to, have you got a get yourself a website?
I'll work on a website, sure.
Quite easy to do.
Well, for now, I do have my Instagram account, so
Okay.
I'll definitely feature my website if I do go through with that. But yeah, my Instagram is at Dan Nobel, DANNOBEL, in one
nice.
go.
If you got any training videos you want us to share on Red Card Sports Radio, we're more than happy to do that. Okay.
Okay.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
On the way, Claire Jedric. She talks about motor racing and just being a general superstar. Plus, we hear from every Premier League manager. Plus, tonight, the big one, it's Liverpool against Manchester United, exclusive live coverage on Red Card Sports Radio.
Team news, score flashes, and the best footballing guests. Red Card Sports Radio.
Next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live, Norwich City versus Liverpool from Carrow Road.
And there is a Jedrek again. Oh, what a try that is! A fantastic goal from Johnny Hasin, who almost breaks the back of the net with a volley from 25 yards. In towards Benteke, it's going to come down. Liverpool the level! It's Joe Allen! The substitute has done it! Jurgen Klopp runs down the touchline, Jose Mourinho-like, and Liverpool have picked Arsenal back!
Manchester United versus Southampton from Old Trafford.
Memphis here for United. Shot block. Rooney! Wayne Rooney is back with a hellacious bang from the edge of the area. Goal Manchester United.
Then puts it downfield and it's flicked on by Davis, and Tadic is goal side into the area. He's taken too long to shoot, but eventually he gets the effort away, and it's under Gomez. He got something on it, but it's just squirmed underneath the Brazilian, who's made so many saves this evening.
West Ham United versus Manchester City from Upton Park.
Eder Valencia goes for goal, and what a strike from Eder Valencia! The angle looked almost impossible, and I said with Dimitri Payet off the field, they could have really done with him because you'd fancy him to score from here. They didn't need him. Sanya keeps the ball in play with a swirling ball looking for Aguero! Kun Aguero heads Manchester City into the lead. His first away goal of the season. And is that the goal? That is the turning point in Manchester City's away day nightmares.
Everton versus Swansea City from Goodison Park.
Come cleverly in some space for Everton. He will look long for Lukaku. Nods it down. This is Aaron Lennon to strike one. And Aaron Lennon to score against Spurs. The side that he left in the summer. Everton's first real attack of note in the game ends with a fabulous finish from Aaron Lennon.
Takes on Catamol, beats him, brilliant goal! Andre Ayew for the 10-man of Swansea! Danced into the penalty area and then sent the ball fizzing across the goalkeeper and into the far corner. It's a stunner from Andre Ayew.
Arsenal versus Chelsea from the Emirates Stadium.
Turns it back into Campbell. Campbell tries to slip it through. Will it fall for Arsenal? It will! Olivier Giroud! And for the first time tonight, the Gunners lead at Anfield in what is turning into an absolute classic.
Here's Willian. Good cross from the right-hand side, and it's a goal out of nothing. A goal for the replacement. It's Kennedy, the Brazilian, who's got it. His first Premier League goal of the season, his second of the campaign in total.
That's all coming up next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live from Talk Sport.
You're with Andy Penders on Red Card Sports Radio.
I'm just saying to Nick, you won't let me talk over that first bit. Never lets me talk over the flute, do you? Well, sometimes I want to talk over the flute.
Well, you gotta wait for the bass to drop.
Yeah, I
they
know
always
you
say
have
that. You
to.
gotta wait for the bass to drop. They always say that.
It's the Andy Penders Show on Red Card Sports Radio. Still to come, Claire Jedric. She is on her way. Confirmed. We'll also review all of yesterday's game in the Barclays Premier League. We'll get your thoughts and opinions on what happened. Get in touch with us at Red Card Sports. In the meantime, it's the top of the hour, which means it's time to get the latest sports news with Nicholas Lim.
Thanks, Andy. We start in football, and FIFA presidential candidate Sheikh Salman has dismissed comments made by Jordanian Prince Ali over an agreement between the Asian and African football governing bodies. Prince Ali expressed concern after the AFC and Football Confederation of Africa penned a memorandum of understanding, which he said could lead to block voting during the election. But Sheikh Salman said Prince Ali's comments were inaccurate, adding that the deal has been in the works even before Salman chose to run for president. In the Premier League, Chelsea's Diego Costa has been sent to hospital for scans after suffering an injury in the 3-3 draw with Everton. The Spanish international was taken off in the 80th minute after hurting himself in a challenge with Everton defender Leighton Baines. The potential absence of Costa could lead Chelsea to dip into the transfer market, although Gus Hiddink will wait for Costa's scans before making a decision. And finally, in tennis, Serbian Viktor Troicki has retained his Sydney International title after beating Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov in the final. Troicki fought back from a set down to win 2-6, 6-1, 7-6. This is Troicki's third title in his career.
Thanks, Nick. Now your chance to win yourself a brand new top-of-the-range Samsung phone. You can do so by playing in the big Red Card Sports Radio Football Challenge, brought to you by Samsung Sports Flow. We want to know your best football chant this month. We're giving away a phone a month. It's really easy to enter. Go to Samsung Sports Flow, find our channel, and hit the chat, and then we'll see what you've got for this month. Our favourite so far is Always Halim to the tune of Dexy's Midnight Runners. Come on, Eileen. Get yourself involved. Win yourself a brand new phone. How perfect's that? The transfer window, and it's all gossip at the moment. I love it. It's one of the best times to be a football journalist, is when you can just make stuff up. Right, Nicholas Lim? You just make stuff up.
Well, I didn't make any of these things up. Maybe someone else did.
Let's make one up. Here, let's make one up. Okay, give me a top player.
Okay, let's say, well, I don't want to go with Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, just boring, right? Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Okay, but isn't he running down his... I tell you what, let's go for Ashley Young. Here we go.
All right.
What would be a good place for him to sort of wind down his...
Guangzhou Evergrande.
Oh, I like it. Right. Oh, just kick off with that then. Right. Just say it's been reported, because we've just reported it.
Yes, it's been reported that, and may or may not be true, that Ashley Young, Manchester United's Ashley Young, has been linked with the move to Guangzhou Evergrande. Apparently, the Chinese Super League side are willing to pay him £300,000 a week to get his services.
It's easy, right? What else has been made up?
Well, West Ham are reportedly eyeing a shock move for Liverpool striker Mario Balotelli. The Hammers are looking for options up front after Andy Carroll was struck with a hamstring injury. I think it's something to do with him being an ex-Liverpool player. But they're weighing up a £10 million bid for the fiery talent. Hopefully he doesn't come down with a hamstring injury. Elsewhere, Barcelona are interested in signing Arsenal's Aaron Ramsey and Everton defender John Stones. The combined transfer fee for the pair will likely cost the Spanish Giants upwards of £100 million. Meanwhile, despite the looming transfer ban, Real Madrid are still confident of landing Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea. They're so sure of overturning that transfer embargo that they got that they're preparing to bid for De Gea in the summer, which is one of the windows Real will be barred from registering new players should the ban stay in place. And finally, Leicester City could lose star attackers Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy. Mahrez is a target for Chelsea, while Vardy is a target for Liverpool.
Talking of Liverpool, Nick, and that's led me seamlessly into the preview from Anfield as Liverpool take on Manchester United. Kick-off at 5 minutes past 10. Love that. That 5 minute extra minutes gives you a nice little time to sit down and get yourself comfy. Let's get the very latest team news and the preview ahead of that game from Red Card Sports Radio's Warren Ashurst.
Well, arguably the biggest rivalry in the Premier League is reignited again on Sunday as Liverpool and Manchester United prepare to do battle at Anfield. The clubs are just 35 miles apart and remain the two most successful teams in English football, but both go into this latest clash under serious pressure. Jurgen Klopp and Louis van Gaal are both seeking a top four spot this term in Champions League football next season, but the two sides are currently on the peripheral. Friday saw Klopp reach 100 days in charge at Anfield, and he currently has a 48% win ratio and has already been in charge of a staggering 21 games during that period. The German, though, is now starting to feel comfortable with his surroundings.
Now, after this time I can say we really settled in. It's maybe not too important for you, but for us. And we had, we know much more about the club. We had a good time until now, but yeah, in football, the most important things are the results. We know this, and but we're going for it. So that's, I think, what everybody can see, and we try to improve as quick as possible. Sometimes you have to make a step back to that you can do the next step in the right direction. So that's what we did. Until now, I'm fine.
Well, Liverpool defender Dejan Lovren will not be fit to return against United, and Daniel Sturridge remains absent. The Croatia international Lovren is still recovering from a hamstring injury sustained at Stoke earlier this month, while none of the other players on the lengthy Anfield injury list are close to fitness. Striker Sturridge, meanwhile, who's been out since the start of December with a similar problem, is still not yet ready to make his comeback. Well, meanwhile, United boss Louis van Gaal will seek a response from his team after admitting he was annoyed that the side threw away 2 points in Tuesday's 3-3 draw at Newcastle. Having taken charge of 3 games against Liverpool during his time at Old Trafford, the Dutchman is well aware of the tension and atmosphere in this game, and he wants his players to remain composed.
We need to be aggressive, but also under control. That kind of matches, and that's always difficult, because the passion to play this kind of games is very high. I think everybody is ready to play this game, but you have to do it at the right time in a different schedule. I think we have to play 2:05. Also new, I think, and we have to show it at that time, in that 90 minutes or 95 minutes, and with that resistance of Liverpool.
Well, Bastian Schweinsteiger is expected to miss Sunday's game at Anfield as he needs more time to recover from a leg injury. Defender Phil Jones could be back in action soon, but Sunday's game will come too soon for him, while Van Gaal will again be without midfielder Michael Carrick. Although returning loanee Adnan Januzaj comes into contention, he may well get a place on the bench. Well, the recent head-to-head stats favour Van Gaal's men, with United winning the last 3 meetings between the sides, including a 3-1 victory at Old Trafford in September.
Kevin is a Liverpool fan. He joins us on the Andy Penders Show on Red Card Sports Radio. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Andy. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, bro. What sort of category of Liverpool fan do you fit into? Are you the optimistic type where you win a game and then all of a sudden you're going to win the league?
No. I'm not a prawn sandwich.
So realistically, what's happening?
You know that better, right?
Yeah. I should do. But realistically, everything good? Happy with the season so far?
Yeah, I think so far so good. The new gaffer has come in and he's made a few changes here and there. Certain players who had their morale very low, I mean, now they're playing back to what we expect them to be playing.
But lots of injuries at the moment.
Yeah, injuries has been a big problem, but it's also maybe a blessing in disguise where all the younger boys can come in and show exactly what they have.
Mind you, if you lose this game against Manchester United, I know exactly what's going to be on social media after the game, all the Liverpool fans moaning. It's going to be a nightmare.
I don't think so, because it's still early. I mean, even if we lose this game, I mean, Klopp really needs more time, because whatever was left behind is what he's playing around with. So, yeah, then, like I say, we go again.
Are you going to go down and see Robbie Fowler and Jason McAteer at Powerlifter?
I've already met them before.
Oh, what was that like?
Again?
Oh, you met them before they've come this time around?
Yeah, I've met Robbie many times as well. Yeah, actually I partied with him in Kureta as well.
No. What was that like?
That was like about 2 years ago. Well, it was good. It was like Robbie, Frank LeBeuf, and there was Kavama, and a few other lads, David May, and yeah.
And did you have a good?
We were there.
Did you have a good time partying?
Again?
Did you have a good time partying?
Yeah, it was like, you know, you're partying with all your boyhood heroes, and then it's like, yeah.
So how did you get invited to the top table?
No, the thing is, because I'm from east of Anfield, so actually we brought Stefan Onshaw over to our place, to the bar, to watch the game. And so he actually recognized me when I went there. It was like coincidentally, just me and my mate, we went to Kureta and we saw them and they were like, all right, come in. and join us in the stable.
Awesome. Where are you watching the game tonight?
Tonight at east of Enfield, Angkabangka.
Of course. Of course.
But I'm going to be drinking juice.
Oh, why?
I'm fasting for Thai Pusam.
Nice, bro. Lovely style.
Yeah.
Hey, Kev, what about the S League this season? Who's your team?
S League? Actually, nobody. Actually, I just read about it a bit. I mean, I heard about PAHANG this year now.
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah. I'm starting to read more about it. As in,
I think everyone's starting to read. I think it's up to people. Look, you love football, right? You love it.
Yep.
Which means you love going to watch football games, right?
I used to go all the games when Sembawang Rangers were in the league.
Right.
I used to stay in Yishun, so it's like every home game and most of the away games I used to go. But then it was like after that, like everything became so different. They brought in teams from other countries, and it was like, and then lost interest of going at all.
Well, I tell you what, let's do this, me and you, right? Let's get some interest back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to a couple of games. Mm-hmm. Let's give it a chance. Go all the lines.
Probably we can go for a Tampines game.
Yeah, I think Tampines, but I'm a Geylang International fan, so come to Badok with me, and let's share a beer. Let's have some halftime refreshments.
I have been to some of the local games, but when Singapore the Lions played in Jalan Besar Stadium, so here and there, I used to go whenever I'm free.
Okay.
Yeah, but S League wise, I think since many years since I went for a S League game.
Yeah.
Last time it used to be very exciting in the beginning years. They had Sembawang Rangers. They had Tiong Bahru at that point. At that time, there was Tiong Bahru.
Yeah.
And even traveled to Choa Chu Kang Stadium to watch SAF.
Yeah.
So it was like that time. It was interesting thing. But then after that, when they started bringing all the other league teams, and everything just died down.
Okay, this is the year, bro. So it's stick or bust this year for your domestic league. I think for S League, as far as I'm concerned, stick or bust. But let's give it some support.
Yeah, the thing, I think the key is if they bring in more big names, I think automatically people will start going.
Right, it's not that hard, is it? It's not that hard to do. Bring in some good players, we will go and watch.
Yeah, I mean, like you take the A League for example. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Even the Indian League, you see, they've been bringing big name players, and football is becoming even bigger than cricket over there now.
Yeah, amazing.
They should do the same thing over here. I mean, you don't need to bring in your Perlos and your Lampards and Gerrard, but then there are like other players, where if they can manage to bring in PAHANG, I'm sure they can bring in other players as well.
Did you go to Did you go to the Legends game?
Which one? The Liverpool
one
against United?
Yeah.
Yes, I went.
Okay.
I was over there.
Okay.
For the Legends game.
Okay. Cool.
Usually, every Legends game, whenever they come over here, I'll be there.
Prediction for tonight, please, Kev.
2-0.
But why? What you mean you're not going to score?
Again, we're going to win. 2-0.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Liverpool to win 2-0.
Obviously.
Yeah.
The Anfield.
Okay, you give me half a goal start, yeah? I'll take Manchester United.
Again?
You give me half a goal start.
Yeah.
I'll take Manchester
Sure.
United.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a beer on that.
Okay, you got it. It's on.
On.
Drinks on me.
Actually, Southampton play them next weekend, so if you could just loosen them up for us, that'd be fantastic. Have a great night tonight at East Anfield at Angkabangka.
You too, Andy. See you soon. We'll catch up for the game.
Let's catch up. I might head down there, actually, Nick. What, are you fancy coming down?
No, I'm gonna get home. I think,
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't think, personally, even as a fan, I really don't think this is gonna be a good game to watch.
No, I got 0-0, Dower 0-0.
Because neither side wants to lose, right? And Liverpool can't afford any more injuries, so they're not gonna go at it 100% or 110% like they say. And Manchester United just don't want to put any more pressure on Louis van Gaal. So I don't think, even if it is the greatest rivalry in the Premier League, I don't think this will be a good game. I really don't.
Some good games yesterday, plenty of goals. There were 26 goals from 7 games, and we have new league leaders. Leicester City returning to the top of the Premier League with a draw at bottom of the table. Aston Villa. Shinji Okazaki opening the scoring for City. Riyad Mahrez then missed the chance to double the lead. He had missed that penalty. And then Rudy Gestede levelled after his second half shot deflected past Kasper Schmeichel.
Now Rudy Gestede has a suspicion of handball, it's not given, and he's fired it into the net, and Aston Villa are level. It looked like it bounced off his arm. The ball fell kindly for him, and Aston Villa's substitute Rudy Gestede has lashed the ball into the net, and with 15 minutes left they've given themselves hope. It's Aston Villa 1, Leicester City 1.
Let's hear from both of the managers afterwards. Claudio Ranieri, first up, says that they should have won the game.
We started very well. In the first half, we had the chance to close the match, but was unlucky to miss a penalty. And the penalty gave to the Aston Villa players the energy to make something good. And the second half, they start to put a long ball for Gotzak and were a very big battle. We were unlucky when they scored a goal because the striker touched the ball with the hand, but the referee didn't see. It was a pity. We had to close the match in the first half.
Leicester City manager Claudio Ranieri on the phone. Soccer coach Dan Bond joins us. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Andy. How you doing?
Yeah, excellent. We're just reviewing what happened in the Premier League. We've started off with Leicester City getting that draw against Aston Villa.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I probably think it was a disappointing result, given that Villa are bottom of the league and seemingly doomed. I think with Leicester at the moment, we're seeing a little bit of a dip in form, and that's down to some of their players being a bit injured over the last few weeks, a bit of a lack of form. We saw Jamie Vardy dip out and had to have a groin operation. Mahrez has missed a couple of penalties. Anything's possible with this team because they've been fantastic all season, but I think Ranieri will just need to think what is actually realistic. Is it winning the league or is it finishing top four? And I think he needs to manage the situation they got there with their squad carefully, because if they could get into the league, that would still be an absolutely monumental achievement for them.
Chelsea in a 6-goal thriller against Everton. John Terry scoring a controversial 98th minute equaliser to earn the Blues a point in that thriller against the Toffees.
There's some leaving, not too many though. Zuma gets it up in the air. Ivanovic picks it on. Chance for John Terry! John Terry for Chelsea in the 8th minute of added time. His first goal of the season. And John Terry has saved Chelsea a point. Who else? Who else?
Funny, right? I think even Dan, the Chelsea fans were laughing after this.
They were. I mean, it was offside, wasn't it, for a start? And it's Chelsea are the champions. They shouldn't be in that situation at home to Everton, who have played some good stuff this season, but aren't actually in that good a position in the league. I think now with Chelsea, you can look back at what happened at the beginning of the season with Mourinho and say, yeah, he probably lost the squad or the dressing room and he deserved to go. But I think with the performances over the last few weeks, you can see there's some underlying issues there. I mean, yesterday in that game, you had Terry, you had Ivanovic, you had Mikel, all still in the team. You have to ask questions, are those kind of players still the players that are fit to play for Chelsea and win games and push for, top four of the title, which they should be doing? In an ideal world, I think John Stones would be there already by now.
Yeah,
I think Mourinho probably had an idea at the beginning of the season for Stones, Cahill and Zuma to be kind of rotating in those two centre-back positions, learning from John Terry every day in training. Loftus-Cheek's been sat on the bench all season at another club. I'm sure you'd see him playing more games, possibly alongside Matic instead of Mikel. Babarama's come in and he's been a bit poor recruiting really, and Ivanovic just still has to play in the full-back position. Hasn't done a particularly good job. Positive signs of the last couple of weeks are that Costa scored 4 and 5 and Fabregas is having much more of an impact on the games, but they're conceding goals, and if they don't stop conceding goals, we can forget about top 6, top 10. They're in a relegation battle here.
We're with Dan Bond, just reviewing what happened in the Premier League last night. Don't forget, on the way, Claire Jedric is here to talk about motor racing and just being a general superstar. Just review a couple of more games. Before we do that, though, I just want to see how unfairly Everton thought they had been treated. Here's Roberto Martinez saying that he had 2 points taken away from his side very unfairly.
It is human error and it's something that you cannot understand, you cannot explain. the linesman is in a good position. You should see that the flick on comes from a Chelsea player, and even before the flick on is an offside position. It's very, very tough to take a decision like that, especially after the efforts of scoring 3 goals at Stamford Bridge away from home and having to perform in the manner that we did. We got taken away 2 points in the last kick of the game by a third party, and unfortunately that's probably the hardest feeling that we can take, and none of the Everton fans deserve that today, and it'll be very, very tough to cope with this feeling.
Elsewhere, Tottenham beat Sunderland by 4-1. Christian Eriksen scoring twice there. Manchester City beat Crystal Palace by 4-0. That was particularly disappointing. Anything stand out from those 2 games, Dan?
I think with Tottenham, it's a really interesting one because we were talking, a lot of people were talking a few weeks ago, this side can win the league and there's no reason why this young group of players can't mount and push to the end of the season. But since then, we've seen them lose to Newcastle, lose at home to Leicester. Okay, Leicester are up there with them. I think this team lacks a little bit of consistency. They're a young squad. They've got a young manager. They've only got one striker and Harry Kane, who's going to guarantee them goals. And I think they probably lack a little bit of backbone to go and win the league. However, having said that, if they can get into the top 4, I think they can finish 3rd. If they can get straight into the Champions League group stage, that could really cement them then in the top 4, which means next season they'll be able to go and attract more players. If they can keep Pochettino, because I think he'll be in demand at the end of the season, they can keep these young players, giving them games, bringing them on. I think it could be the catalyst for them to go and win the league in the next 3 or 4 seasons.
Wow!
I don't think it's going to be this season because I think they're still a little bit too young and a little bit inconsistent. But
Dan, they won't have Pochettino there basically if they start doing well.
They need to keep him. I mean, Daniel Levy has been good at buying players and keeping players in the past. If they don't keep him, it will probably be the difference between kicking on and not. He'll need to sell the club to him. He'll need to pay him the right sort of money and make some guarantees for Pochettino to stay there, because he is one of those managers that could push up into that bracket of top managers which get linked and end up going to good clubs. So I'm thinking, your Guardiolas, your Klopps, your Ancelottis. He could push up into there.
Let's hear from Pochettino after the game. This is his thoughts on Spurs bouncing back.
I think that it was unfair, the last result. And I think the performance was good, like last Wednesday, but different score. I think that very pleased, very happy. I think that the effort was fantastic, and only to keep on working hard and try to prepare the next game against Leicester in the good way, and try to stay on the next run on the FA Cup.
Meanwhile, you're gone. You're gone.
I think just going on from that, I think Man United and how they finish the season will be key for Tottenham, because they'll be looking for a new manager in the summer, I'm sure. I don't think they'll get Guardiola, because I think he'll go to Manchester City. I don't think they'll get Mourinho because he's too much like Van Gaal in a style of play. I think if Man United got into the Champions League and offered and came looking for Pochettino, he would be interested to go there. I think if Man United came for Pochettino in the summer and weren't in the Champions League, he would stay with Spurs. So as important as it is for Spurs to get into the Champions League, I think they really need Man United to fall short and finish 5th or 6th. Otherwise, that could be a big problem for them if they were to come in for a manager like Pochettino, and who else is out there at the moment that they could realistically get.
Yeah, because good point, bro. Yeah. Hey, what about Newcastle beating West Ham? John Joe Shelby, very impressive, got to say, for the Magpies. Elsewhere, Southampton following up their midweek victory over Watford with a convincing home win against West Brom. James Ward-Prowse, a brilliant 25-yard free kick. He scored a penalty, and then Dusan Tadic sealed the points for the Saints.
Stephen Davis, it's a long-busting run down the left-hand side, edge of the penalty area, slips it through. Tadic, is he onside? He is! And he has surely sealed the points. Dusan Tadic with a stunning strike across the goalkeeper and into the far corner, thumped it beyond the keeper. And Saints are back on track. They lead West Brom by 3 goals to 0.
Well, that was a funny old week, Dan, wasn't it? Saints are back on track. Crystal Palace knocked Southampton out of the FA Cup, and then it's all doom and gloom, and now it's all happy.
It is, and there's a couple of reasons for it. One is the keeper, obviously. Yeah. We've had Stekelenburg in goal all season, and
mind you, he hasn't had one save to make, but you can tell everyone's like, now we're class. Now we have
exactly. It just runs through the whole team. I mean, you talk about Palace there; their keeper starts to make a few mistakes, and the impact that has on the rest of the team. if the team knows that their keeper has got a save in them and they can dig them out of a hole if need be, it just gives the team so much more confidence. I think you could see that against Watford and against West Brom. I think the early goals are key for Southampton as well. If we can get the first goal in a game, he's got players like Shane Long and Sadio Mane that can just exploit the space that then becomes created in behind when the opposing team has to try and come forward and score. So yesterday was another good game. He completely controlled it. I was really impressed. I like the way that Koeman has changed formation over the last few weeks. We've got a few more options. Jedrek and Tyler played more like wingers yesterday, went more sort of three at the back. And then we've got players on the bench that can come on and make a big difference as well, like Tadic. So it's looking good. James Ward-Prowse got a free kick yesterday, which is well overdue because he's had about 1,000 attempts over the last few years. Yeah. And now I've obviously got Charlie Austin, who's going to guarantee goals. I think Pele will be off. If not now, he'll definitely be off in the summer. And maybe Mane too. But Southampton is such a well-run club. I know we're biased, but they'll already have people lined up to replace players they're going to go. So
exactly,
it's looking a lot happier. I'd expect us to finish higher than we are. Top 6, outside chance. I'd expect somewhere between 6th and 10th, but it's looking good again, finally.
Getting Dan talking about Southampton is like getting Antonio Codinac talking about Espanyol. You sort of get the fader, and they just let him carry on like he'd be there for 20 minutes just talking about him. Hey Dan, thanks for your time tonight, and okay. Manchester United next weekend, right?
Yeah, Manchester United, we could win that as well. Let's see how they go this afternoon against Liverpool.
Yeah, nice. All right, Dan Bond on the Andy Penders Show on Red Card Sports Radio. On the way, Claire Jedric is going to be talking motor racing and just general sort of superstardom, I think. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Sort of, I want some tips. That's what I want, Nick. I want some tips on how to be a superstar. And that's pretty much it. What a show we've had for you already. We've had a world record holder in the studio. We've had Sazali in the studio as well, telling us how to be a sports newspaper reporter. Just a reminder on the way, because the evening hasn't really stopped, well, it hasn't even stopped yet, or it hasn't even started yet. One of the two, I think they're both right. Liverpool against Manchester United is on the way. The Barclays Premier League is home. Red Card Sports Radio is the home of the Barclays Premier League. Boom.
You're in the mix with Andy Penders on Red Card Sports Radio.
Next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live, Norwich City versus Liverpool from Carrow Road.
And there is a Jedrek again. Oh, what a try that is! A fantastic goal from Johnny Hasin, who almost breaks the back of the net with a volley from 25 yards.
In towards Benteke, it's going to come down.
Liverpool, the level! It's Joe Allen! The substitute has done it! Jurgen Klopp runs down the touchline, Jose Mourinho-like, and Liverpool have picked Arsenal back.
Manchester United versus Southampton from Old Trafford.
Memphis here for United. Shot block, Rooney! Wayne Rooney is back with a hellacious bang from the edge of the area. Goal Manchester United.
Then puts it downfield and it's flicked on by Davis, and Tadic is goal side into the area. He's taken too long to shoot, but eventually he gets the effort away, and it's under Gomez. He got something on it, but it's just squirmed underneath the Brazilian, who's made so many saves this evening.
West Ham United versus Manchester City from Upton Park.
Eder Valencia goes for goal, and what a strike from Eder Valencia. The angle looked almost impossible, and I said with Dimitri Payet off the field, they could have really done with him because you'd fancy him to score from here. They didn't need him.
Sanya keeps the ball in play with a swirling ball looking for Aguero! Kun Aguero heads Manchester City into the lead. His first away goal of the season. And is that the goal? That is the turning point in Manchester City's away day nightmares.
Everton versus Swansea City from Goodison Park.
Cleverly in some space for Everton. He will look long for Lukaku. Nods it down. This is Aaron Lennon to strike one. And Aaron Lennon to score against Spurs. The side that he left in the summer. Everton's first real attack of note in the game ends with a fabulous finish from Aaron Lennon.
Takes on Catamol, beats him.
Brilliant goal! Andre Ayew for the 10-man of Swansea. Danced into the penalty area and then sent the ball fizzing across the goalkeeper and into the far corner. It's a stunner from Andre Ayew.
Arsenal versus Chelsea from the Emirates Stadium.
Turns it back into Campbell. Campbell tries to slip it through. Will it fall for Arsenal? It will! Olivier Giroud! And for the first time tonight, the Gunners lead at Anfield in what is turned
fantastic. Here's William. Good cross from the right-hand side, and it's a goal out of nothing. A goal for the replacement. It's Kennedy, the Brazilian, who's got it. His first Premier League goal of the season. His second of the campaign in total.
That's all coming up next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live from Talk Sport.
You're with Andy Penders on Red Card Sports Radio.
Now you can talk, Anne. Now that the bass has dropped, you can talk and get your lyrics spat out like a... I'll stop there. Hey, it's the Andy Penders show on Red Card Sports Radio. Welcome. We've had a really cool show so far. Dan Nobel's been on the show. Sazali's been on the show. Had Dan Bond talking about Premier League. And we've had Liverpool fans on the show as well. Just to top it off, I like star billing for tonight. TV personality, sports presenter, ESPN Supersports 360 racing car driver, event host, model, marketing director, actor, motivator, F1 presenter, athlete, writer, blogger, swimming presenter, Asian Le Mans presenter, Macau GP presenter, marathon runner, fundraiser, fitness instructor. I haven't finished yet. Actually, I just stopped there. It's Claire Lewis, Jedrek, everyone. Hi, good to see you.
Brah, brah.
Right? Have some of that. That's what I do.
Hello. Oh, okay, that's quite the rollout.
I've missed out loads there.
I think so. Cooking, I like cleaning. What else do I like? I like eating. I think you're definitely missing out a whole bunch of stuff there.
What have you...
Lover.
What have you, Tiger Woods, Roger Federer, LeBron James, Lionel Messi and David Beckham got in common?
Sports people.
Well, yes, sports people, that is true. But you've all got your...
They all play ball games. No, but Roger Federer, LeBron James.
No, the answer is you've all got your own logo of your name.
Oh! Is this a reference to my logo?
Yeah!
Ah.
Come on.
It could have been anything. They were all males.
Well, I get that, but come on, that's when you know you've made it. That's when you know you've made it. Love it.
Look, and actually, you can't see it on the camera. I've got it on here. I've got it on my necklace. I'm pimping.
That is different class.
I know. My partner keeps saying I should stop trying to be like Lewis Hamilton. He
He's
said
got
I need like...
Yeah. I love him. Hey, we'll talk about all the star people that you've met with. Let's just bring us up to speed right from where we are here. And 2016, January and beyond.
Yep.
What's in the pipeline for you this year? Because I know you'll be ever so busy.
Okay, in a week's time, I'm going to Inner Mongolia, to Yakashi.
Wow.
I've been twice before. This is
What's
my third year. It's minus 20 to minus 30 degrees. We're going to be doing ice drifting, so in Porsches.
Wow.
Learning how to drift on ice, and I'm doing one course up this time, so we're going to have spikes on the wheels. Really awesome.
What is it, like a big plane of just ice?
It's just ice. It takes 6 months to prepare. There's a group of Swedish guys who just camp out there and they just lay ice all day.
What?
Yeah, riveting stuff.
What's Mongolia like?
It's interesting. It's in Mongolia, so you've got all the shaggy looking horses, you got the tents. I think it's just a tourist thing for us, but Porsche put out like an amazing customer kind of experience, and they've got like these beautiful cabins set up for us. So it's not real Mongolia, but if you go to the city center, they've got like frozen food everywhere, like fish. They just leave it out like a market, and it's freezing. It's freezing. The most exciting thing there was probably in a hotel was a warm KTV with warm beer. That's the highlight of the place.
Awesome. So there's that.
The racing. So I've got that, and then usually my racing season starts in March at the Malaysia Formula One support race, but now Sepang's closed for major renovations from February to I think about May. To May. So my season starts end of May.
So it's interesting, when I ask you what do you have planned for the year, you automatically go into motor racing mode. Is that how you see yourself?
Well, yeah, because my schedule in my head, I've already got my schedule. So because I help doing the marketing and stuff like that, this is what I know, like categorically what's going to happen.
Right.
Then I'm going to Shanghai for the, I don't think it's Shanghai Formula 1 this time. No, just the Shanghai for Porsche Career Cup, and that's throughout the year. I'm getting married.
Yeah. You excited?
That's it. This would technically be my last date. This would be my last date as a single woman on this show, Andy. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
right.
Wow.
Now I'm getting married 2 days before Chinese New Year, so crazy stuff.
Wish I bought like some, at least made an effort.
Where's my flowers?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like some champagne or
No.
typical
Disappointing,
date.
Andy.
Yeah, I get that on first dates quite a lot, to be fair.
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
I'm a no fuss girl.
Okay.
Microphones to do.
So that's exciting. That's good.
That's about it. Yeah, and then the karting arena. So the go-kart track that we're running. Plenty of stuff that we're doing with that. There's always promos and stuff going on.
Tell us more about that. Are you marketing director for that?
Yes, that's correct. The karting arena at
Where is it?
Bukit
Okay.
It's smack in the grandstand. What's unique about it is it's an electric go-kart, which Singapore does not have. So it's great for everybody. I'm talking about like males, females. We start from the age of 9 years old, 1.4 meters. We do lots of team bonding, a lot of corporate. We've just heaps of people coming through. It's great. We've even had a guy come through who had, I think, cerebral palsy. And we put him on it, but he was able to drive because his parents showed us that he could drive a Jeep. So we're like, yeah, why not? So we get so many interesting people coming through.
Wow. And this is where the grandstand is. It's
next to the football. There's some open rugby fields there, and like lots of little. It's on the South Car Park near Valentino's restaurant.
Gotcha.
Great restaurant.
Yeah, very nice.
Eat there too much.
I'm trying to get some sponsorship from them.
From Valentino's, from the Italians.
Yeah, well, we spend enough money there, right? I was thinking you could give some back. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, you can buy the $100 truffle pasta first, and then you get sponsorship.
Exactly. So, is it expensive to do this?
No, it's not. So first time up is $50.
Right.
$50. That includes a session on circuit, 8 minutes, as well as 2 simulator rides that are thrown in. We've got awesome simulators there that have a exact same go-kart track. If you're a little bit nervous, you can try that first.
Yeah.
And we've got Porsche Career Cup cars, Formula One cars, as well as the circuits around the world.
Right.
So if you want to have a go at the really complicated Singapore GP, that's the place to do it and make the mistakes.
And that's something you were involved with from the ground up?
Yes, that's right. So it's been about a year planning. It's been open since actually a day after the Singapore Formula One last year.
Oh, wow.
But it feels like a whole year, these 4 months.
Yeah.
Like just so much has gone on. It's been really intense, but it's great. It's something which relates back to me and Yui, my husband-to-be. And yeah, I mean,
So you were digging, you were actually laying the track down with yourself, were you? And
not quite, but I was painting lines.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, I guess another interesting factor about it is my dad is the GM. I pulled him out of retirement.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, well done.
Yeah, I know. So, but this time my dad's my boss. Yeah.
Cool. So to tell us more about the racing, because everyone associates you now with racing, right?
Yes.
Are you happy with that? Would you rather be associated with, I don't know, modelling or TV hosting or?
I think there's been different points in my life. I always did, if you want to say modelling or artiste, I don't know what you want to call it, when I was younger. I guess that was during when I was studying. And then I guess I went into hosting and presenting, and now I've gone on to more of the niche of just like automotive, lifestyle, luxury, cars. And I guess spending the last 3 years, I mean, if you spend 15 to 18 hours in a garage, you're going to learn something whether you want to or not.
Right.
But I enjoy it. It's the people are amazing in both my series and with the Porsche Career Cup that I work as a marketing manager there for Yui's team. And it's like family, really. I think I'm quite happy to be associated with the motorsport.
I saw you at the Macau GP a few years ago.
Yep.
You're right, it's infectious, isn't it? Yeah, brilliant.
It's absolutely amazing seeing these GT cars. I unfortunately missed last year's one because I had a more important date. It was my best friend's wedding.
Right.
But I assumed I was going to go. And I was like,
no.
Wedding on that day. Because Macau GP is epic. It's really epic. And yeah, Mercedes AMG won again.
Right.
Awesome team. The Germans are brilliant to work with.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I suppose you can hear that in some spheres of work. That's kind of cool. So your association now with F1, you have quite a lot of experience. You've worked with ExxonMobil, McLaren, Honda. You've seen Jenson Button, Danny Ricciardo. It's so cool work in those circles, right?
And my beautiful brown boy, Lewis Hamilton.
Right. Is he
I'm so excited now.
Does he make you go kind of weak at the knees then, does he, Lewis?
I don't know. I just love him. You either love or hate him. I have a lot of friends from UK who can't stand him.
Right.
You know, when I start talking about him, of course, I get a few eyes rolling. But I love the way he drives. I like what he's done for the brand. I mean, I personally thought the brand was like an old man brand before. But what he's done with merchandising, he's got a very clever PR team. It's what people look for now. They're like, Mercedes, it's cool, but I've got all these hats. Even I love it. I'm such a sucker for this stuff. I'm buying it too.
And he's got his own logo as well.
Yeah, that's right. He's got, it looks like a little, like a reverse horn, like a horn kind of thing.
Yeah. So what's he like? Like you must have, you've hung out with him, right?
No, I didn't.
Have you? Oh, okay. You quite cool to party with him as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think that, see, that's the idea during the Formula One, maybe this year, because he's no longer with Nicole Scherzinger.
Right.
But like, yeah, because I heard he was doing quite the party last year. But this, generally drivers, they're quite boring. They're not going to go and party.
Exactly.
It's not like James Hunt back in the days, cigarettes, drugs, and you know, and women. You know, it's no longer like that. I think.
Do you take that you're racing that seriously? That you kind of know all about that era, all the '90s race, all the '70s races?
Well, yeah, it was a sexy time.
Yeah.
It was this and all the movies that depict that, like, I believe it, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just watched the documentary again called One the Movie. It's not a movie like The Rush.
Sure.
But it's just got every single famous person and how their drivers hang out with families and.
That's the Ayrton Senna one, right?
It's not Ayrton Senna. No,
Okay.
that's the Ayrton Senna movie.
Right.
This one won the movie.
Okay.
Not a lot of people know about it.
Okay.
But if you can try and buy it offline or whatever it is, it's epic. It's got something about everyone. It's about safety, about how the families got together, and it doesn't concentrate particularly on one person, like Ayrton Senna and stuff like that. But it goes throughout the years. And it's got everyone in it. I love it, yeah.
And during last year, you were doing Fit for Racing as well?
Yep, that's right. So that was for the Singapore GP.
Yeah.
And that was bringing...
So what, they employed you, did they, to do this series?
Well, yeah. Well, basically, they brought in Paul Haynes, and he is like a specific sports coach when it comes to movement with I suppose we call it elite athletes. So elite athletes, of course, have different training, especially with the Formula One drivers. And he actually previously trained Daniel Ricciardo. And what he did is the Singapore GP thought it would be great to show people what it's like, because a lot of people think any driver just gets in a car and drives. You know, people are like, oh, you just sit in a car. But it's not like that. No. Yeah, it's the complete opposite. You sit in the car, even if you're in like a half an hour race, your concentration, your heart beats up. It's crazy. And the Formula One drivers, it's times 10, you know, of something that I'm driving.
I watched one of your laps around Sepang where it's got you in the little,
oh yeah, the little box.
Yeah, really cool. And look, you're working so hard. And just watching it, I'm like, go on. Like the adrenaline, there's a little bit of sofa adrenaline going through. Go on, do him. And you're going past people.
Yeah, there's so much adrenaline when I'm in the car. Yeah, there's a lot of rush before that, but you just gotta let loose. I love listening to music. I pump up some either screaming or loud hip hop music, and then I go out.
What's been your best moment racing?
Oh man, it's got to be last year's at the Malaysia Formula One. First time on the podium. Yeah, so. I mean, to get that in the first race of the season, I think because I went in with no expectations, no stress, and I'd done so much testing before that. And I went in, and I'm not the fastest driver, but everything went right for me on the day. And that's what sometimes it's about. The right track conditions, the right car setup, I was in the right frame of mind. My competitors, who I can't really control all those factors, just everything went right for me on that day. So it was phenomenal. I remember getting back in. I'm just like, me. I'm just blood like a girl.
Did you cry? Oh,
yeah, I did towards the end, and then I was like, okay, gotta go, because we all have like headsets and stuff. Because that one was that was a sprint race. Right. So Formula One generally you do two. This year my format and last year's was a sprint race, and then the next one's endurance 1 hour. Wow. 1 hour race. Yeah, that one's a bit taxing. But
what sort of weight would you lose doing a 1 hour race? Are you sweating? Is it hot?
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm wearing fire gear in because my car probably gets to about 50 degrees on a hot day. Wow. On a hot day, so it's really important to hydrate. Which is a pain for girls because our bladders are like that, like nothing. So like me having to drink water and I'm going like, oh, I need to go to the toilet, you know, like an old lady. But yeah, it's let me see. I guess I've got my inner fireproof wear. I've got my suit on top of that. I got my helmet. I'm in the car. There's no such thing as aircon in these race cars.
They strip everything out.
Yeah,
right?
it's completely it's bone dry. Everything inside.
And it helps with your lights as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does help. But in my race car, it doesn't make as much difference. We don't have ballast. Did I have ballast last year? Yeah, I did have ballast last year. Right. So where they add in like extra weight and stuff like that.
To make it fair or to handicap
it? Yeah, to make it fair.
Okay.
Yeah, make it fair. Which is something they introduced last year.
Right.
To be honest, it's not going to make much difference. I think this level, like Porsche Carrera Cup and stuff like that, they do have all the ballast light added in. But yeah, I mean. I love the Malaysia Champions Series. I hope there'll be other series. We've now got the TCR Series, which is entered. I think last year was the first time they had it. And that same touring production cars, but you've got like Seats and Hondas, and they look like little hatchbacks. They're probably, I think, they are a lot faster than my car, but that would be the next series to watch for touring, the in-between series.
Right.
Yeah, before you hit the other like GT series. That's because you've got Porsche Carrera Cup, which to date is probably one of the most prestigious races. It's really difficult because the Porsche cars don't have any aids, no traction control, ABS and all that stuff.
wow.
So it's pure. It's difficult. I've done a couple of laps in it and got overly excited and I've just spun. It just snaps. It's crazy. Right. Then you've got GT series, so you've got all your Audi LMS R8 Cups.
Oh, Alex races in that?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We see Alex a lot of time on the circuit. Audi, then you've got like the GT cars, where it's got everything. You've got the Bentleys, the Lambos, and the Ferraris. There's quite a few series out there. And of course, then you've got the single-seaters, where a lot of the kids start off in. Yeah, they're for like Formula Renault.
Have you been in an F1 car?
Not F1 car, but I've been in a baby Formula. So sometimes we test in the Formula Renault cars.
Right.
And the one I tried was the older one, was sequential. And I think we're probably doing it again this year. It's great because it's like a big go-kart. In the rains, it's frustrating because it does snap. But you got that feeling, which you can also find on my YouTube channel. I mean, the Formula Renault around Zhuhai is where I do it. And to be honest, a lot of people, you can just go there. It's one of the best places to do it. That don't overcharge you, and you're gonna have a fantastic time. Like it's a day trip out, and it's not that expensive. ART Motorsports, and it's actually run by one of our mates who used to race in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, Rodolfo Avila. And yeah, they're epic. They're such good fun. Yeah.
Awesome. What a sexy sport, and and the adrenaline, especially when you're doing it. Not watching it for me, right? It doesn't do it. Just doesn't. But doing it, go-karting and all that stuff.
Go-karting gives you that same feeling.
Yeah.
Everybody who goes like, I'm not competitive and blah, blah. Males, females, they get on there and everybody starts to push. Yeah. You know, go-karting's the best way. It's the purest form. And Sanders said that before once. Right. You know, it's the purest form of motorsport that you're going to get. And that's why I love karting. It keeps you on edge as well.
So sore afterwards.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you're gonna get sore here. That's what I mean. It's not just sitting in the car. Yeah, there's so much more to it.
Like in the seats as well. I think, oh my god.
Because usually all your core muscles. Not only that, then you're braking and having to modulate. So you got to stabilize yourself. You got balance, and of course, the stronger your core is, you're gonna drive. A lot of people think you have to be aggressive, but actually, it's the complete opposite. You have to be completely relaxed.
Wow.
Relax. So that's the big difference.
A lot of that goes down to technique as well, does it?
Yeah. And generally, the rule of thumb, it's like the 10,000 hours rule. I'm sure you heard of.
No.
Like in anything that you do for 10, I can not hear this. Anything you do for 10,000 hours, you'd be great at it.
Well, I sleeping and just doing nothing really. So I'm fairly good at that. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So same with motorsport. It's you do more laps, you get more seat time. The better you're gonna get at it and progress. And then it just comes to the point where I guess if you run out of talent.
Right.
In sport.
Right. Yeah, just not getting there.
Yeah.
Are you hoping to act as some sort of inspiration to other women to get involved in the sport?
Well, it's not just to women, really. I think it's just for, to be honest, general public. I think people have a lot of misconceptions about karting. I think that's what's great about, to be honest, I mean, our own karting facility, the karting arena, is that you can try it, even if it was just once. Right. And you can get that feeling.
Let's go, Nick.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'll take you down. And you're right, it's that competitive element. I'll take you down, man.
and you know, everyone's going to have fun.
Yeah.
Is he saying yes or no?
Well, it's just sort of shaking his head. Do you want to go?
Blinking at
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. Well, I put the ballastic. You got some. We'll make the weight the same. Yeah, it sounds good. I'm up for it. We'll come down, okay?
The only racing I've ever done is on a video game, so don't expect me to be any good.
Oh, if you're good, you should try simulators then. Yeah, you might kick ass on the simulators.
Yeah, and it's important. The video game I play is Burnout, so the point of the game is to crash into other people, right? So
you could do that as well.
I don't know if that's something that you would be willing to have on the track.
Oh, not on our circuit. I'll get my whip out and bring you right back in. I'll be like, you.
So what came first, the UE or the car? The UE or the racing? Did you meet UE Tan and then get into racing?
No, absolutely.
Or were you into racing and then met UE?
Well, I'd always loved sports. So to me, it wasn't about I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. I didn't dream about racing. I didn't. That wasn't the, I suppose, people keep asking me this, you know. I enjoy sports, I enjoy competitive sports. And once you reach your 30s, it's a little bit difficult to get into that. Everything just kind of fell into place. When I met Yui, then he introduced it to me. I was already doing sports stuff for like Red Bull. The first time I got taste of the Formula One was during 2007. I went with a Red Bull team and I went to Sao Paulo, the last race of the year. And I saw Lewis Hamilton lose as the youngest rookie ever. I mean, that's all gone now. But to be the youngest guy to win a Formula One, his car stopped a lap, you know, before. But that was it. I've always loved extreme sports. So to me, it really was the opportunity came along and I thought, this fits my personality, why not? So, and yeah, I got the tips and tricks from you, but he doesn't coach me. Yeah, partners don't. It doesn't work.
What, because he would annoy you?
It's just the expectations you have. Even if you're like brother or sister or family, it's never get whoever it is, your sister, your brother, your spouse. There's got to be an exception if that happens. It's not going to end well.
So what's he do? What series does he race in?
He races in the Porsche Carrera Cup series, and it's a one-make series. Travels throughout Asia. He had a fantastic season. He's been racing now, I think, for 7 years, 8 years, and he entered quite a lot later. But he stuck through it, and last year he won the B-class champion, which is quite a big deal, especially for him. He was sponsored last year by Jebsen, which is a big Hong Kong team. And they've been around, and we're just waiting word if he's going to get sponsored with them again. Hopefully, good news. Is
that what it's all about, the money? Because it sounds like it's an expensive sort of...
It is. Motorsport, if anyone tells you that I can do it for like half the price, it's a lie. It's a lie. I mean, you've got to, even at my level doing the Malaysia Championship Series, I went around it a different way. And to be honest, it's great because, I mean... I'm female. It's a bit easier because there's no other one else in Singapore, and I went out and marketed it myself, got sponsors, and that has really helped me to, I guess, pursue this.
Who are your sponsors?
My sponsors were Tresor. Well, last year's one was Tresor Diamonds. I had Leica. Who else did I have?
Nice top end.
Yeah, so it's in between. I mean, it's interesting because I drive a Honda FD2.
Right.
But for marketing value, a lot of people see that because a lot of people sometimes, they may not be exactly interested in the motorsport, but the concept of the female, and nowadays you can spin stories in it, I guess, you know, about female empowerment, and I'm the everyday woman, and, you know, why not? Yeah.
You're not every day, are you?
Yeah, you should see me. Every day I have to scoop out cat poo. Isn't that the great sight? Right. Yeah.
Have you posted something this morning on Facebook? You just run a marathon or something?
No, that was
that was a throwback, was it?
It was a throwback without having to put the hashtag.
Oh, okay. That confuses me if
Yeah.
But you run marathons as well. You're
Yeah,
insanely fit, right? Insanely fit.
I love it. It's like my peace out. It's like my zen. It's the, I guess, how'd you put it? I don't feel comfortable. I mean, even after a while, if I don't train for 1 or 2 weeks, I have to get back into it. It's been the one thing in my life that has been constant. It's just health and fitness. And
do you teach?
Yeah, I've got my personal trainer cert. I do lots of like boot camps and people interested. I've been busy for the last like 4 months, but I've done lots of bride boot camps.
Right. Oh wow!
I love high intensity training. My thing is high intensity training, and just pushing your maximum and just getting the results. But to me, fitness really is about state of mind. I never try and chuck anyone and say, don't eat this, you got to do this, you got to train 10 hours a day. It would never work. Buying a gym membership, sorry all these gyms in Singapore, but buying one to make you think that I'm definitely going to go to the gym. It doesn't work. Like, you know, I mean, if your mental's not there, you know, I think you've got to change your mindset and slowly change things. Things don't happen after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks minimum. Yeah. But it's one of those things, especially people who don't do sports. They ache after 2 days and they quit. Yeah, it's normal. That's me. Even I get like that. Right. Yeah, I get lazy some days. So. Oh, that's inspiration. The fact you said that makes me feel. I get lazy happy. Most days. Yeah.
What about the TV side? What's been happening recently or in the pipeline?
Nothing so far. I've just been busy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just put everything.
That's all on the back burner.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah, that's on the back burner.
But you've done some acting in the past.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
No, tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, if you looked up on there, Polo Boys, right? This Polo Boys keeps cropping up.
No.
Yeah.
What was wrong with Polo Boys?
No, nothing. It's just people will go, oh, or Deal or No Deal. That's what it was.
That's your TV debut.
That was my number 11 briefcase.
Really?
With Adrian Pang. Yeah.
Was that fun?
It was fun. It was intense. Very intense.
Why?
2 weeks with 26 girls in the room.
Oh God!
I wish they had a reality TV like camera backstage.
Oh my God!
Crazy shit.
Why? What happened? What happened?
Nothing. There's just dramas. You know, who don't like this one, so I like that one, and yeah, the usual. It's like Big Brother, but yeah, except there's no cameras.
Breakdancing. What? You've got interviewing someone. You got to talk about their life.
Breakdancing. That's right. Yeah. So I guess throughout. When I was studying, I guess what you say, during my poly days and some uni.
Where was the poly days?
Temasek Poly.
Oh, nice.
I did hospitality and tourism.
No way.
Yeah, I never used the degree. I've got to put it up. All my mates who are still in the industry, they are the most amazing people.
No.
They are the most amazing people who just will have an amazing long career, like, doing it. But yeah, that's what I did. I did my degree in that. And yeah, I got into I was doing aggressive inline skating for 10 years from like the age of 14 to maybe 23, 24. And then all the same guys and girls who were in it then got involved and the breakdancing came in. And yeah, so I started dancing.
Did you have a breakdance name?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah.
What was your special move?
Hollowbacks. That's what they call it. Hollowbacks.
What the?
Oh, no, that's not. No. Those are like flares and hollowbacks is just it's a lot of. I couldn't do all that windmills and stuff like that. Hollowbacks. It's on the head. Oh, you got breakdancing pass?
Yeah. Sadly.
Photos.
Mine was the caterpillar. Yeah. But I looked like a Labrador wiping its ass on the floor. Sadly. Yeah. Well, but I'm a lot older than you, so I was. I'm proper old school breakdance, right? That's what I grew up with. Yes, right. We were doing the robot and all that. Yeah.
Popping and locking.
Why have you got so few followers on Twitter?
I don't use Twitter. I deleted my Twitter a couple of years ago.
Oh.
And then
sounds like there's a story. Why?
No, I can't remember why. I just thought, Twitter. And then
Twitter's rubbish.
And then I deleted it, and then Twitter exploded. It's a bit like now this Snapchat. Oh. I went on it for a week, and I was like, what is this? It's tiring.
Right.
It's tiring.
That's a lot of admin.
Well, what else would people want to know about me, like what I'm doing throughout the day? It's not all that interesting. Social media can be a bit of a lie.
Oh, it's nonsense.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm old. I do follow a few people on Snapchat. Yeah.
But I think the concept, I guess, because they have big concerts and stuff, and then
that's good. I like that. Yeah.
So many different people throughout the day. But I mean, I was on. No, that's Facebook Live. I was on two people's Facebook Live.
We should get on that. What is Facebook Live?
So Facebook Live is like having. It's like this.
Right.
It's like a YouTube thing, and I was on Rebecca Lim.
Okay.
The actress. We were at a SK2 event.
Oh, nice.
And then this guy called Willie Fu. He's got massive following, photographer, technopreneur.
Okay, nice.
Technopreneur, new term. And yeah, they did a live thing. They just talking to people, and people answer questions like on the spot. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. I don't think people want to follow me for 10 minutes.
Have you? So you're going to chuck out Snapchat soon as well, then?
Well, no, I think I used it for a week, and then I'm not quite sure. I didn't understand it at the beginning.
No.
And it's just another thing to be on your mobile phone.
Just get rid of it.
I just don't feel like it right now.
Hey, I got quick fire questions for you, okay? 10 quick fire questions, so you can just be nice and quick. Don't look at me like that.
Okay.
What? They're fun questions.
Okay.
They're fun questions like, Ready?
Okay.
This is quick fire, fun questions. With Claire, do you like the Louise in your name?
Yeah, Claire Louise Jedric.
Is it important to you?
Yeah, it's my name.
Okay, and is there a little dash between the Claire?
There is a dash, but in Singapore, they don't put, I don't know why the authorities don't.
So everyone calls you Claire Jedric, and they're wrong?
Well, I just put it short because it's just too many words.
Do they call you CL?
CL, no, CLJ, CJ.
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 What's the best rumour you've heard about yourself?
Quick fire question. Best rumour I heard myself.
Well, it can be slow fire. I mean,
best rumour I heard about myself. I don't.
Because I spoke to Sassy Kuma saying that Claire was coming on the show, and he was like, "That girl used to party, man."
Oh,
used to
that's not a rumour.
Party.
Yeah, that's not a rumour. I saw you. I've forgotten about that already. That's not a rumour. I did. I was a massive party girl. I have now and again. I have big party nights. But yeah, I can't recover that fast. Not anymore. I think somebody said a long time ago I did martial arts. That's a rumor that I heard. Martial arts.
You'd be good at it though. Whatever you did, you'd be good at it.
I'd make sure I'd be good at it.
That's the
That's
annoying
the point of
thing.
doing sports. Yeah.
What car do you drive?
I drove here GD3.
What's your favourite meal?
What's my favourite meal? Cheese sandwich, pickles, and a cup of tea.
Nice. What's your most recent movie?
Oh, The Revenant. The Revenant with Leo DiCaprio. It was amazing. I was so emotional in the first 45 minutes. It was it's like a mash in between. What's that Jesus Christ story by what's his name? It's like Last Mohican / lots of blood, gore, faith, emotions. Yeah, brilliant.
Okay, that's good. I like that. If you weren't engaged, who would you like to date?
Who'd I like to date? Who'd I like to date? Oh my god, I haven't thought about this. Who'd I date? Okay, I must have say Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
I've had dreams about him. I've got to admit.
Okay. What sort of dreams have you had about Lewis Hamilton? Favourite sports team?
Chelsea.
Oh, sports team. You go Chelsea above McLaren?
Oh no, I like Mercedes.
Oh yeah, sorry, Mercedes.
Silver Arrows.
The most famous person you've met, yeah.
What are you gonna write? What are you?
Most famous person you've met, yeah.
I guess all the motorsport people. I mean.
Don't say Lewis again.
No, I won't. I won't say Lewis again. Okay, let's put it to. I'm not a fan of his. I don't watch his movies. The guy from Grey's Anatomy, McDreamy.
Nice.
He's at Porsche events because he's now a race car driver. He's got his own racing team.
No way.
Yeah. So.
What TV show would you like to appear in?
Ooh, Orange is the New Black.
What's your best sporting thrill?
This one through. Oh, jumping off cliffs.
Really? You've done that?
I've done but it's that. Want to do it, don't want to do it. I feel like I'm chickening out. I just did one recently at a Hens. What? So I did 8 meters with a girlfriend. Both of us yeah, come on, do 13 meters. And we both didn't have time to do the last bit and we were so bummed. Like our egos were just smashed because we didn't jump. Yeah, we had 5 minutes to do it and we didn't do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we sucked.
This is jumping off a cliff into the water?
Yeah, in Bali.
Mental.
It's awesome.
Did you practice your podium acceptance thing in somewhere privately so you get it spot on when it actually came to that?
No, because my photos I look like an absolute wally. I just got the biggest, stupidest, goofiest grin. It's the worst photos ever. The 3 photos I have, I'm just like, and then everyone's like, well, these guys have been on the podium before, so they're like, oh, you really want the sprayer? And I'm like, yes, I got it. I was standing on the Formula 1 podium where Lewis Hamilton stood, and I was just like, I have to spray the champagne, like. Come on.
What, they didn't want to spray?
No, because they've done it before. They didn't want their suits soaked.
That's really mean.
I know, but they did it anyway, and I ended up, I think, spraying it into his ear, and this poor guy accidentally,
rubbish sprayage.
Yeah. I was excited.
How many languages can you speak?
1.
I love that. Born in London, though, right?
Yeah.
But Singaporean?
No, British still. I'm a PR. I've been a long time.
Okay.
St. Thomas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, along the river.
Favourite dish to cook?
To cook? Favourite dish to cook? Man,
You said you could.
I do, but there's so many dishes.
Oh, I
How
see.
do you put it down?
I just thought you just couldn't
I love
remember
making
8 dishes.
massive sandwiches because I'm a sandwich person, sandwich queen. But I mean,
Can't get a decent sandwich in Singapore.
No,
I can't.
No, but I can eat for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Where do I go for good sandwiches, Claire?
Good sandwich.
Good sandwiches. See, there's a business there. There's a business there.
No.
For sandwich lovers, like my best sandwich spread and cheese. You know, Heinz sandwich spread. That's it. I grew up on that.
Heinz sandwich.
Yeah, it looks like sick. It looks like sick. You know, it's all chopped up a little.
I've never had that. No.
What are you?
No, haven't had that.
What words of advice have you got for anyone who wants to get into motor racing?
Motor racing. I'd say start go-karting. And probably get your parents to sponsor you in karting. Be good, study hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good general advice. It is expensive. I've been on the 125 on the things.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't go flat out because I just.
You can feel when the speed comes on. You feel a bit of adrenaline, like
Yeah, I couldn't do it. It scared me. It was like what's his name when he tried the F1 car on Top Gear, the little guy Richard Hammond.
Yeah.
Said he could not floor it.
No.
Just couldn't. Amazing.
And he's crazy.
Hey, good luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
Glad
nice.
I made it. It's been long overdue.
Yeah, this is true. We were trying to get other shows in the pipeline. It didn't quite come about. But anyway, here we are. So thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy.
Pop by any time. And if you want to use our channel as promotional videos that you want to put out or any pictures or behind the scenes, not asking for any money, just saying as a platform, we're here to promote local sport. That's our thing. That's what we do, right, Nick? Local sport. We had all. Dan, did you see Big Dan?
Yes, huge. I logged on straight away because I wasn't when you sent me the link.
Yeah.
I saw the YouTube thing. I was like, whoa! For some reason I didn't know that you could do this yet.
And
So
mate,
this is awesome. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
He's massive. Anyway. Right, that's it for this week. We'll be back again next week. Please check out Red Card Sports Radio throughout the week because we'll have the very latest shows. What's happening next week on the show, Nick?
Well, we're hoping to get some players from Tampines
Rovers. Yeah, we've already had Jermaine Pennant on, right?
Yeah, we had him.
Had him.
You know, and depends.
Had the exclusive there. That's done.
Depends what happens on Tuesday because the big news coming in on Tuesday, isn't it?
Well, he's signing, right?
Yeah, he's signing. So
I think it's high time we did another world exclusive.
Right.
Yeah, because we did one last week.
We'll need you to be naked in your home to prepare.
That's
for
when
that.
I do my best stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I broke Jermaine. Oh, I'll tell you later. Right. See you again next week. Bye bye. Thank you.
It's a red card, and he should get 2 red cards. That's got the red card out.
Red Card Sports Radio.